Hello and welcome everybody to week 4 of the Minnesota LCS. This is Steve Sir Buttkick Kangas casting along with my friend Sam Money Trees Duco.
Hey guys.
Back at it again. Sorry for the little hiatus there. And now we're just going to get set up into this game here. Sorry about that. Whew.
Some Halo Wars 2 coming at us.
The ad pops up. All right, and now getting into this game, we're going to give you a quick standings before that of just what the week has looked like so far leading up to week 4 now. So we've gotten through 3 full weeks. The standings are in first place, Minnesota State University Mavericks, actually.
At 3-0, along with
Mankato.
UMN Ganked by Gophers, also at 3-0, top the standings.
Yeah, and then we have the Fighting Saints from College of St. Scholastica, 2-1, along with St.Olaf and McAllister. And then UMN's B team, I believe they're called the Pocket Picks now. They changed their name.
The Pocket Picks, I like it.
So that rounds out the 2-1. Now that for all the ones that are 1 and 2, we have Winona, who we are about to see play here, with College of St. Scholastica Pupper Dogs, St. Cloud, and University of Minnesota Duluth Chicken Chasers. Now in the last 2 places at 0 and 3, University of Minnesota Duluth Nova and Gustavus. So this game, we have St.Olaf against the Winona squad here. So that's a team that's 2-1 against a team that's 1 and 2. Pretty close in the standings. Again, we're only 3 weeks in, so we don't have a huge idea of what it will look like going towards playoffs. Every team still has a chance to get into playoffs, so that's not really a big fear here. But what we will see is will St. Olaf continue to push forward and go to 3-1 and just push Winona even further behind, or are they going to even it out this week?
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup here. Like we said, we got a 1 and 2 team versus off a 2 and 1 team. Both are trying to assert themselves in this league and trying to make that playoff push.
Yeah, and we're just waiting for the side of St. Olaf to load in here. We got 1 member. Close.
Wolfie Meister.
He might just 1v5. Yeah, you never know. But again, follow us on social media to get all of your caster news, all of your team news. We have a rotating cast this split because of how awesome everyone's been volunteering and helping out. We have such a big production team now as opposed to last split, which allows us to do a lot more fun things, like having multiple casters. But if you want to follow any specific ones, check out Minnesota LCS, that's MNLCS, on Facebook, on Twitter, to get all those updates, see who's casting what games, see what teams are playing, keep up with your favorite teams and players as well. So check us out there. And also, thanks to Envade Gaming for sponsoring us this week, as always. Check out their website for all your gaming apparel needs. Now, going into this game, we see Winona State University has struggled a little bit. They took a win their first week, but they've lost 2 weeks in a row. What do you think that kind of momentum is going to mean for the team going into this week?
Well, this week, let's see them get on those champions that they like. We know that Funky Bees popped up a few times.
Baby Caps.
But St. Olaf's looked really strong with their 2-1 record, and they will try to halt Winona in their tracks this week.
Yeah, right out of Faker, controlling the top lane a lot of the games that they've won, which I like to see that going on. I like when top lane actually does stuff.
And you got to love that name.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you only need one done to
be
compete.
As good as Faker. Right?
To compete at the level. So looking at some of the team's ranks, I like to bring this up a lot of the times in these more collegiate tournaments because we see vast discrepancies in player rank. Looking at the side of Winona, Funky Bee and Fear Fracture, both as of right now, are in Platinum. I believe that last season they were in Diamond, each of them, but I'll have to double check that. We'll see going into the game. And then Achenball 4 in Silver 4 right now. So that's kind of a big difference in ranks there, whereas on the side of St. Olaf right now, all gold and plat. So it's a little closer knit. Do you think that can play into team strategy at all?
Absolutely. I think that, say, your Platinum or maybe last season Diamond players, you might want to pay attention more to their lanes, try to get them ahead, try to let them carry the game.
And also maybe they're the shot callers on the team. The ones with more experience are typically going to be the ones saying, hey, let's get drag next. Hey, let's push out this lane and back. So I agree. Whatever lane they're in is typically where they want to play around. It especially helps if they're the jungler. And on the side of St. Olaf, we do have a gold 1, I believe, jungler. So that's pretty nice for them, having a little more experience on their squad. And we're getting almost everybody in. We're just missing one player, and we also need them to get in the correct order. We'll be able to get into this game, hopefully on time. 4 minutes.
Close.
Yeah, that's enough time.
We just need one more player here, and then we can get this going for you guys.
And now let's talk a little bit about the latest patch. So we are on 7.3 still here, I believe. Correct? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Want to make sure no patch came out before I noticed. So 7.3, there have been some nerfs to champions like Maokai, to champions like Camille, but we've still seen them pretty popular, actually. Like, they're still getting picked a lot. Do you think that we're going to still see those going forward here?
I imagine still pretty highly prioritized. The nerfs didn't put them all the way down. I think both the champions are still good, and really a lot of the champions that we saw nerfed are still seeing a decent amount of play.
Yeah, and like I kept saying, the last time we casted was in week 2 before Maokai got the nerf. So it's been a while. You had 1 week break of us, but we're back. But back then, all I kept saying was ban Maokai or pick him if you're blue side. Like, you gotta either pick him or ban him out. And we saw that he had a 100% win rate during last week, or during the week 2. We'll see if the slight changes to his power will affect that win rate at all. I know that now his little sapling doesn't do as much damage on the fall down, does more in the explosion, so that can kind of mess with the clear, but still very dominant top laner.
Absolutely. Really hard to lane against, and it's so relevant later in the team fight, so hard to kill.
Yeah, and we do have both teams fully loaded up here. We're going to see if we can get the R's from each side. Get the Reddies, get the Rogers, get the other R words that mean yes.
Right?
Right. Hey, there we go. Yeah. Get the rights. And then we'll get into this game. I'm curious to see, again, with the side of Winona on. And again, sorry, I remember week 1, I kept saying Winona. They proved me wrong that week by getting the win. They proved that they are Winona. Let's see if they can earn that name again this week. I'd like to see them prove me wrong. But we're seeing them with the first pick. Who do you think is that priority first pick champ if it gets through the bans?
As we said, all these teams kind of have their own little niche pocket picks, so it'll be interesting to see what these guys like, if they've done their homework, if they want to ban what they've played, what the opposing teams played in previous weeks, and what's been successful for them.
Yeah.
See a Yasuo ban off the bat.
Taking it away from Right Not a Faker, one of his pocket pick champs. He's popped off on it a couple times. I really like the targeted bans here. I think that those are typically more useful than the general power bans, unless you're playing against a very skilled laner.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless the team's very skilled, then maybe you want to ban out all the more OP champs. But here we're seeing things like Yasuo and Lux, where I'm assuming that this squad is very versed on these champions. From the other side, we see Vi and Graves being taken off the board. Both junglers who have seen success in this league.
Yeah, taking away a lot of the jungle from Peter. Now they're banning Warwick themselves. And then a Hecker. Wow. This is a very limited jungle champion pool. I'm curious to see what's picked up after these two. Kha'Zix is still on the table after receiving some nerfs. Rengar, after, again, receiving some nerfs. So those two have kind of fallen from popularity, where we've seen Graves rise up, actually Warwick rise up. But they're still not that bad, as well as, again, Rek'Sai. But this is what we're talking about. What is Winona going to pick first? What do they consider the top priority champ right now?
We're about to find out. As we said, this jungle pool is very cramped. Let's see if they prioritize this pick, if they want to wait a little bit longer in the draft.
They could pick the jungler first just to ensure that Peter gets something he's comfortable with. Or they could let it slip through. I'm assuming that with 3 jungle bans coming from St.Olaf, they're going to want to pick a jungler in one of their first 2. So that means that'll be a 5th jungler taken away from Peter. But it looks like they're instead going to opt for a laner, picking the Ryze.
Picking the Ryze. And this champ has seen so much success, so strong right now in the mid lane. The Realm Warp gives your team so many possibilities that really no other champ brings.
Yeah. And now on the side of St.Olaf, I'm expecting to see maybe some kind of counter pick to the Ryze. Ooh, and we actually seen a Moo picked up with a Renekton. That's one of those top laners that Right Not a Faker really likes to play, those aggressive carry style champions. But this is an interesting jungle pickup from DeFlube. I know that he's very comfortable on the champion, but I was expecting something that Peter plays a lot. I don't know if he plays a Mumu. Maybe he does.
Maybe.
Maybe that's another champion taken away from him, but he's hovering Teemo saying, well, screw you guys. I'll just play this guy.
We get to see some Teemo jungle this game. It makes me so happy.
But what's interesting is they're also hovering the Zed, which could mean a Ryze top lane.
Could mean a Ryze top, could mean a Zed top, I guess, but I would kind of doubt it. Zed has seen a lot of priority gaining in the recent weeks.
Yeah,
with the lethality.
Ooh, there's Sejuani hovered. She has seen a rise in popularity recently in the jungle. And there it is locked in. No Ivern. I was actually hoping to see an Ivern this game, but it's okay. And there's the Maokai. All right, so it should be a Ryze mid, and they got the Maokai. Even with those slight nerfs, they still think that he's going to be good enough to carry them this game.
Still think it is good, and they want it into Renekton. They got the counter pick in the top lane, and they think Maokai's the champ to do the job.
He can survive pretty long against Renekton, but, I mean, no matter how tanky you are, you can only survive for so long against that champion. So I'm curious to see what kind of pressure they're able to put on it, because they have a very tanky top laner and a very tanky jungler. It's going to be difficult to get kills against Renekton on the top lane. He has a lot of disengage. So I'm curious to see what happens up there, as well as on the side of St.Olaf with another tanky jungler. So these junglers are really going to be looking to pressure lanes that have kill potential in them.
Yeah, both great early ganks, both really great when they hit 6, and kind of an interesting jungle matchup in itself here. Two champs that we don't see very much, both very tanky. And Miss Fortune Annie?
Ooh.
Annie being picked into the Ryze here.
Annie locked in. Could be support.
I guess.
Probably not. Probably into the Ryze. That is, again, a very interesting matchup. I'm not sure what they're trying to do with that, because against such a tanky team with the Sejuani and a Maokai, those are not good Tibbers targets. Typically, Annie's amazing against a team of squishies because she can just burst anyone down. But if Maokai can get his ult off, that Tibbers is not going to be as useful in those team fights, except for the AoE stun. Another Teemo hovered. My goodness, Winona. Come on.
However, the Misfortune pickup here does have the ability to shred that armor, picking up the lethality into the Black Cleaver. With the Amumu ultimate, has some great wombo potential here.
Yeah, and something interesting. Ooh, we're seeing a Callista Thresh hovered. Are we going to get the legendary high skill cap combo? Oh, they're just picking Lucian. But still, Thresh is locked in. I like this combo. Thresh gets that CC down. Lucian is free to unload all of his abilities and skill shots. And it's just auto attacks on the target. So if this is an Annie bot lane, they're going to struggle a lot if either Annie or Misfortune gets hooked.
And we will see here shortly if this is going to be an Annie bot lane. We're still assuming that it's Annie mid.
Could be Aatrox.
Could be Aatrox.
I'd love to see the champ. I have played at support a couple times. It worked.
Seems really good.
Got slow. You can dive as much as you want, and then you get a second chance. Anytime the pass is up, just go in. And it's still hovered. They're playing with us.
They totally are.
They know we want it.
to see this Aatrox. So
they won't do it. We got to challenge them. You got to do reverse psychology.
If you're listening
I
to us,
don't want you to do Aatrox.
Oh, yeah. I do not want you to pick this Aatrox, man. Do not lock it in.
And 9 seconds instead locking in the Sona. It makes a little more sense. But what's interesting to note now is how squishy that bot lane is on the side of St.Olaf. They have a Sona Misfortune. As soon as Peter hits level 6, that is a pretty easy lane to gank. They don't have a lot of mobility. Sona can, speed them up a little bit, but that only works so far.
It is a juicy lane to gank. However, they should be able to put on a lot of early pressure in this lane. Sona's so oppressive early. And Misfortune's Q, if you can get it to bounce off the minion and hit the enemy champion, it does a lot of damage.
So expecting a lot of poke out of that bot lane, but I like the side of Winona in terms of their just versatility that they have. Thresh has better roams mid than Sona does typically, unless Sona gets that level 6, which even then it can be iffy. What's interesting that we haven't quite yet talked about is, again, this jungle matchup. Bringing it back to that, Amumu and Sejuani, known for being junglers that can kind of be pushed out of their own jungle. They're not that strong in a 1v1 against something like a Rek'Sai, something like a Rengar. But against each other, I mean, that's pretty passive. They're just both going to try to clear, get rid of their own jungles, and then go to a lane. So I think maybe a little gentleman's agreement. Like, hey, you don't pick an aggressive jungler, I won't pick an aggressive jungler. But leave each other's jungles alone and just see what happens.
Yeah, maybe no invading in this game going to happen. Both as we said, though, are very strong gankers and can really pressure any of these lanes. The bottom lane, like we said, this Misfortune and Sona, going to be easy to gank. Annie is going to be easy to gank for with the stun, as well as Rai is going to be easy to gank for with just the point-and-click CC.
Yeah, and another thing to note for the side of Winona is their damage output. They're going to be looking... They have a weird transition because Lucian really strong in the mid-game. Early game is pretty good. Mid-game he's very strong. He kind of falls off in the late game, whereas Rise just keeps getting stronger as the game goes. So I think that in the early game and mid-game, if they can play around Fear Fracture, if they can play around the Lucian, they might have a chance of just being able to shred, because on the side of St.Olaf, they only have the Amumu to tank. Renekton gets a little tanky, yes, but he's not a pure tank, although it does sometimes feel. And then in the late game, they're going to need to rely more on Funky B, who has also been showing up huge in this tournament so far. Even in games that they lose, he has always shown that he is a very, very strong laner and not somebody to disrespect. But then we're looking at the side of St.Olaf. They have a lot more carry potential. They have the Misfortune with the Annie, and even the Renekton can carry the game a little bit. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's going to be important for the side of Winona for this Maokai, Sejuani, and Thresh to be on the front line, be that good peel for really their two damage dealers. The rest of their team not going to leash a lot of damage. The Rise and the Lucian, really their two damage dealers. They want to keep the enemy team off of that.
But what I really do like about their draft is they have a little bit of everything. They have the AD damage and the AP damage. They have a peel tank and Thresh. He's just going to sit on the Lucian, sit on the Rise, make sure no one gets on him.
Great
but he can
engage
also,
from multiple champions.
Yeah, but again, the Thresh can also land a pick. He can get the pick onto a squishy target. We have Sejuani for that amazing initiation with that ultimate, and then Maokai as well for those team fights. A good initiator, good for peel. Does a lot of damage too, as we keep saying. So I definitely like their draft more. Which do you feel had the stronger draft phase?
I like Winona's draft a little bit more. They have a lot more tank, great engage, and from the opposing side, they're going much more aggressive with 2 ignites and no TP.
True. That is going to be interesting to see how they're able to match the rotation from Winona. The Rise ultimate can really get them around the map, kind of get those flanks in. You drop the ulti, let Maokai walk in. He's suddenly on the back line. They have to deal with him while everybody else pushes the front. Really, really messes with the team. Typically, Rise and Maokai are a fantastic combo together because, I mean, Maokai, he can tank for days. He doesn't need anybody with him to peel.
Yeah, and the side of Winona going to have much more global pressure with that teleport and with the Realm Warp being able to warp multiple champions into a fight, where from the opposing side with double ignite, they're going to want to try to get ahead early, try to get those early advantages.
And I think that that's what they're realizing is if they let Maokai get too tanky, if they let Rise scale too much, they're going to lose the late game. They can't quite match that when they don't have as many tanks on their team. They don't have the same kind of peel for their carries when there's the Maokai, when there's the Sejuani. They can just kind of jump on people. So I definitely like the choice, actually. It seems a little odd because the rotations are going to be messy. It's going to be hard to match TP because you can't match TP. But if you can snowball it and can get a lead, it can definitely put them ahead and ensure them the win for this game.
Yeah, so from this side, like we said, we want them to be aggressive early with this double ignite comp. We want this Amumu to really get in. I want to see some early pressure, some early ganks in the top and mid lane.
But we are loading in to game 1 of week 4 for the Minnesota LCS. Put in Twitch chat, put on Twitter who you think will win. Hashtag St.Olaf win or hashtag Winona win. Emphasis on Winona, maybe, perhaps. And for the players, Ockenball 4 in top lane, Peter jungle, Funky B mid with Fear Fracture and Get Sleeped in the bot lane. On the side of St.Olaf, right another Faker top, Deflube jungle, Wolfie Meister mid, and Swagnarok with Jim Raynor rounding out the bot lane. Love that name, Jim Raynor.
Jim Raynor.
Good old Jim.
Jim Raynor. Bot lane Sona.
That should be something else. Who has the best name? Put that in the chat.
Some good names in this game. As we already mentioned, right now is Faker. Great
Peter.
Name. Peter.
Yeah, that might be one of my favorites. And I didn't notice who had the most skins, but just from the look of it, St.Olaf is on point. They got 5. Yeah, they got the full 5-man squad.
5, and they're looking to get a little bit of an early cheese. They got priority in this.
Peter and Get Sleeped. They got the ward, and Winona sees it, so they back off. Man, I love those all-in level 1s, but it looks like we're not going to see it this time as both teams decided to just kind of back off a little bit.
back off. They got their early vision. They saw that both teams were kind of maybe trying to do something there, and then they decided to back off.
And we're seeing some of these starting items coming from these champions. Both Swagnarok and Fear Fracture opting to take Doran's Blade instead of the Longsword. That's pretty popular that we've seen in this tournament. Not many people have opted to go straight into the lethality, even though typically Lucian, that's something he kind of wants to do. So we'll see how that affects his build, because he's trying to spike a little earlier, get that early and mid-game power spike. Maybe the Doran's Blade can help in lane, but it's definitely going to slow him down to hit that power spike.
And both champions here are probably going to want to go for the lethality. I assume I will see once they get their first back, but the Doran's Blade will slow their build down a little bit, but give them a little bit more combat stats early in the game.
Yeah, a lot of players, when they make the choice between D-Blade and Longsword, the obvious choice for D-Blade is you can have the auto attack sustain, which can be nice if you're running out of pods, burning through them quickly, but with that Longsword you have 3 pods, which is just better if you're looking for that sustain. But if you're looking for just for the raw stats, yeah, absolutely Doran's Blade. I understand the choice for that.
Me too. And we got no early trades as these champions just are getting into lane. Sona with some nice chip damage.
Sona doing Sona things, yeah.
And
I pressed Q and auto.
As we said, we want this Misfortune and Sona to try to get some early pressure here. They have much more poke hitting the Q on the Fear Fracture.
Ooh. And this is exactly what Misfortune Sona should be doing against a Lucian Thresh. Level 1, they're absolutely more annoying to deal with. They can do a lot more damage, but once Winona hits level 2 on the bot lane, their all-in potential is going to be a little stronger. So we'll see what happens if they're able to get that first. And they don't.
And Fear Fracture getting really chunked early, and as we said, that D-Blade 1 pod, he probably would love to have 3 pods right about now.
Maybe. He's got to try to auto-attack when he's outrated by both emulators. Not a fun life for an 80 carry in 2017, but we'll see if he's able to make it work. He's sticking even in farm, and it actually has the wave pushing towards him, which is kind of what they want when they have the Sejuani. Peter playing that high CC jungler, they might be able to get some kind of gank if they're pushed under their own turret. But as of right now, Peter's top side, Akhenball 4 struggling to trade and match those trades with right now a Faker.
Peter might be looking for something out of their neck then.
It is warded though, so right now sees that he's there. Oh, Fear Fracture. So much damage.
Yeah, great poke from this Misfortune Sona lane.
Yeah, this is what you got to expect when you draft into that. I think, again, I like the Sona pick if you're trying to be annoying, but here's the initiation. This is what I'm talking about. Do they all in? They don't really want to as Fear Fracture takes the damage. And not really a winning trade from the side of Winona. But now we see Defloob on the bot side. He's coming around. It's not warded. Are they able to get on the Fear Fracture? He jumps on to get sleep. Get sleep. Actually tries to go on a Jim. Flash away. Heal from Fear Fracture. Oh, the camera. Come on. Fear Fracture lit though.
Throughout that entire engage, however, they did get both Thresh sums as well as the Lucian heal. So that lane probably looking to get ganked here again in the next 5 minutes while those sums are down.
Yeah, Defloob doesn't have anything in the bottom jungle to clear. But if he's able to just make some kind of rotation back down, maybe go back to bot side, head back down to bot lane, that'll be very strong for him. But Peter on the backside of right out of Faker, flash away from the Renekton, but he's still getting caught out. There's so much CC. Able to dash away, and not the kill for Winona, but they do trade sums on the top for the summoners on the bottom, but now Defloob on the mid lane. Funky B flashing away, and Ghost as well. All these games happening and no deaths.
Immediate response there from Defloob once he sees the jungler top lane. He wants to go mid, and so many sums being blown from the side of Winona. Both Rise summoners are down, as well as the bot lanes we just mentioned, and now the Maokai flash also down. So Defloob has a lot of places to be looking to gank right now.
Yeah, every single lane looking very juicy for him right now, but this is what we were talking about. It's slightly harder to gank the lanes of Winona than it is St.Olaf, because if they go bot, they have to deal with Thresh. If they go top, I mean, that Maokai is still going to be pretty tanky, even without that many items. I think mid is going to be where he wants to focus. Funky B doesn't have Ghost or Flash, and he can only really target CC one person. So if Defloob's looking to pick up first blood for his team, that's where he's got to be looking next.
Yeah, huge summoner advantage here from the side of St.Olaf. And let's see where Defloob decides to make his next move. He has not backed yet, still clearing his jungle out.
Yeah, and this earlier back for Peter means that when he does go into lanes, he has the slowing smite. Maybe he'll be able to pick up something more for that if he's able to put pressure, as Deflube really aggressively farming right now. It's going to come back to bite him. He's ahead in farm as of this moment, but once he backs, Peter's clear is going to be a lot faster. And, Get Sleep actually coming on a Rainer. Jim, you got to get out of there, but actually maybe not. It's Swaggernock getting the damage back on the Fear Fracture. Get Sleep, keeps going forward. What's he doing that far up? He gets exhausted. Peter is on the backside. First blood over to Swaggernock. Do they want more, though? Fear Fracture does not want to give up as Peter jumps in, but they got to respect the minion wave, and they back off. First blood, though, over to St.Olaf.
St.Olaf taking advantage of that summoner advantage that they had, using the exhaust to secure the kill onto Get Sleep.
Yeah, and I was talking about how Deflube needs to go mid. Well, maybe St.Olaf just needs to win the 2v2, since they know they have the summoner spell advantage. I mean, Swaggernock didn't even have to burn heal during that fight. Get Sleep just got caught out a little too far forward.
Trying to go a little too ham there. He went in because I think, okay, nothing's going to come from that. I think he went in, he was so confident because he thought Peter was coming down, but a little bit late there, and maybe the thrusting gauge is a tad bit too early.
Yeah, just didn't quite get there in time. And now, again, Fear Fracture getting punished for being in lane alone. Swaggernock and Jim know that they have summoner spell advantage, and they know that they also just have champion advantage. I mean, 2 against 1. So I like the aggression that they're putting. But Get Sleep is back in the bot lane, and so is Peter. Are they looking to rinse, wash, and repeat? It was warded, though. In the meantime, top lane, duking it out.
Level 6 is starting to be hit for a lot of champions across the board. The bot lane of Winona, however, is still very underleveled.
And we're talking about how Peter had a chance to get ahead and farm over to Flube for a bit there with that earlier back, but now with that gank body, it doesn't have a chance, but actually Akabal getting engaged on right nut. Actually deleting him as in the mid lane, Wolfmeister picking up the 3rd kill for his squad. And a lot of action picking up here.
All things going right for St.Olaf right now. We said that they needed to be more aggressive early, and that's exactly what they're doing. Got a nice 3-0 lead, as well as a 2k gold lead just at 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah, right now the Faker says, you can take away my Yasuo, but you gotta watch out for my Renekton too.
Yeah, the solo kill in the top lane.
Yeah, Ignite. I'm not sure if it was necessary to get the kill, but it definitely helped. So we're seeing that summoner spell give him a slight advantage over Maokai, but as he backs now, looks like Akhenbal 4 is opting to walk into lane as opposed to burning a teleport. He still wants the teleport advantage in case he needs to go elsewhere on the map. It's a little early for the Maokai teleport roam, but you know what? Maybe it'll just be unexpected enough that they can catch somebody off guard from the side of St.Olaf.
Deciding to save that summoner at the expense of a few farm. Let's see if it pays off for him in the coming minutes. It pays off for him here in the coming minutes. Are they going to find a place to pressure on the map? It looks like Rise wants that.
Peter in the mid lane has the ultimate. Wolfmeister goes out, flash and Get Sleep, lands the hook, lands the play. Who gets the kill though? Wolfmeister surviving a while, but Peter picks it up for the squad.
Well played by Winona here. 3 members rushing to the mid lane, picking off that Annie. Funky B Brents goes early to make sure he can get in and Get Sleep with a nice flash hook.
Yeah, that was kind of hard to hit. I mean, they knew Wolfmeister didn't have flash though, so as long as he could predict where she was going to move, they were sure to land it, and she didn't even see him coming. So really clean roam coming from the support on St.Olaf. But now right now the Faker is not done with Akhenbal. He says, this is my lane now. And talking about that earlier choice from Akhenbal to save the TP, I actually kind of like it. He was able to walk up to lane. The wave was in a good place anyway. He didn't really need to get any of that farm right away. Fear Fracture in the meantime, taking a lot of damage from Swaggernock. Can't quite trade it back at this point in the game.
Saw that Get Sleep was there, and he had an open.
And now Akhenbal again getting engaged up by Right Nut, flash away. And if Ignite was there, Right Nut might have gone back in. He has his flash available still. Akhenbal's got to be very careful in this solo lane. That's what we're talking about. If Renekton can snowball and get ahead, Maokai's tanky, but you can only take so much damage until it's just not enough.
And that's what he's doing here. He's up 17 farm, has the kill, has summoner advantage as the Maokai has to back again. He'll be pushing that into the lane, and now the Maokai's going to burn his teleport, make sure he doesn't lose any of that farm.
Yeah, he has to at this point. His turret's already taken a little bit of damage. He doesn't want to give too much up. Sitting at about half health, little over. They're going to need a little bit of help from Peter going top as the Floob is on the bottom side. Doesn't look like they're going to go all in, though. Has hit that level 6 a while ago, so the ultimate is available.
And yeah, let's see where the Floob wants to go. Looks like he's just going to back, because right now the Faker continues to put pressure on
ball
in the top lane.
This is not your lane anymore.
Increasing his farm lane and just really far ahead of Smoke right now.
And every single lane, again, struggling here. I mean, we're seeing Funky B about 10 farm behind in his lane, and unfortunately, that's the one that's closest for the side of Winona, whereas on the bottom side, they just keep getting poked out. They don't have the same kind of poke that St.Olaf does, so they're going to need some kind of all-in. Either Peter needs to go bot or needs to go top, but either way, he's got to do something as Akhenbal just keeps getting pushed out of lane.
Yeah, huge advantages all over across the board here for St.Olaf.
Yeah, and they're showing why they are 2-1 in the tournament as of right now. Trying to bury Winona in another loss. We'll see if they're able to pick it up. They're about 12 minutes into the game, and no dragon has been picked up yet, so not a lot of priority being put into the jungle, the neutral objectives. Peter might be looking for a lane gank here.
And Peter's services are needed all across the map right now.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's never fun to be at this point in the game when you're a jungler. It's like, well, I gotta go top and bot, and as Swagner is able to flash away from the play, ult comes out, ult from Fear Fracture, but Sona stops it. Peter's coming down, doesn't take the lantern, and Sentai decides to flash him, but Jim can't quite get away. The plague lands onto both targets. Swagner goes down in a double kill for Fear Fracture. Whew, all summoners burned from the side of St.Olaf, but that is a secured kill, and Right Nut does not want it to go unanswered. He's going into the Akhenbal and actually picks up the kill, getting out of that turret range.
Good flash out of the turret there to pick up the kill after you see so many members pop. A huge ultimate there from Peter, allowing Fear Fracture to pick up a double there, and they're also going to pick up this Infernal off of that as well.
And the double play from Get Sleep into the hook out of Swagner was really well played. The only thing, Peter not taking the lantern meant that he had to burn flash. That might come back to bite them later, but they did pick up the drag in exchange for that top turret. So,
and that's solo gold going over here to right now to Faker. Already 25 CS ahead, 2 kills, and that's 650 picked up from the first turret gold. He's so far ahead.
Peter didn't die to red ball. He smited it. He had smite. It's a little worried, but he got it. And again, Right Nut really making full advantage of that ignite. He burned it again in the top lane, but he secured the kill. So that's twice now. When he uses it, he gets the kill. This is exactly what they need. But I mean, the Infernal Drake going over to the side of Winona just means that their late game is going to be that much better if they can get to it. They've already lost a turret. They're already 3K behind in gold. What are they going to do about this Renekton in the top lane?
Yeah, as we just Renekton in the top lane, may be very difficult at this point. Akhenbal is going to have to really play passively up there in the top lane. I don't even know if Peter's services can really help him out at this point.
Honestly, we could maybe see something like a lane swap. I don't know what Fear Fracture and Get Sleep can do about the Renekton either. It's just looking like a mess. This is that point in the solo queue game where you're like, they have a fed Renekton. But maybe they got to put their priority elsewhere. Maybe they got to look to bot lane. They had a successful gank down there when Peter went down. If Fear Fracture could get ahead, maybe they can get that mid-game power spike. But the Floob in the top side by Akhenbal, can they get anything for Fear Fracture taking so much poke? As now we see Wolfie-Meister possibly roaming top as well, but do they even need him? Nah, Right Nut decides to back off.
As we said from the side of Winona, though, in Champions Select, we do think that if their comp can get later into the game, here's some action.
Ooh, Peter actually went on the bat line, and the ultimates land as 4 members bot. Swagnarok's going to be going down as well. That's the second successful double kill on the bottom side. This time, 1 kill going over to Funky B and the other to Peter. And Peter actually, for as hard as his job is right now, he is showing up 2-0-3 in the jungle. He keeps getting these successful ganks on the bottom side. I think that's where they need to put all their attention. But in the meantime, Akhenbal is getting engaged, but flashes away from the bandage toss. But this will mean another turret for the side of St.Olaf.
And in that previous engagement, they know that Swagnarok and Jim Raynar's flashes are down. They're pretty hopeless to that 4-man collapse there in the bottom lane.
And they actually don't get the top turret as they instead decide to rotate mid. Funky B's got to be careful. He has Roam Morph available, though. Really good disengage if he sees him coming in, and they are looking for his blood, but Jim might be the one to bleed instead as he ults on a Fear Fracture. Can Swaggernock get there in time? Exhaust goes down, flays them both away. Really well played by Get Sleeped. And can they get away safely?
Ultimate not up here for Swaggernock. It's going to be difficult to secure a kill. They do pick up that mid lane turret, however, continuing to push this turret advantage.
And St.Olaf showing up really big here, taking 2 turrets now, and that second tier top turret is going to be going down pretty soon, probably as soon as Right Nut shows up top lane again. And we got to, again, put it on Peter's shoulders. What can he do to help the team out? He's already gone bot twice, and that's helped so much of the bleeding, but what can they do about this Renekton in the top side?
It's going to be extraordinarily difficult to deal with this Renekton. I think that they're just going to try to have to leave him be as best they can, try to avoid fights where he is in. He doesn't have the teleport. If they can engage on other sides of the map, he will not be able to join.
Maokai has completed that first item, Sunfire Cape, meaning that he will not only be able to survive against Renekton a lot better, but just push the wave out naturally. So maybe if he just sits on their turret, he can just stop Right Nut from continually pushing. Right Nut does not have TP, so if he's in a lane, he's kind of stuck there.
And Winona really doing a pretty good job here of not letting the bleeding get too bad, not letting the bleeding get too bad. They're keeping it close, and as we said in Champions, like, we think that this comp can get to the late game. They have the Maokai, they have the Rise. They can do a lot of damage here.
Ooh, Jim. Getting the vision on that ward, I thought for a moment he didn't quite land it, but just the edge, just the tip.
Just the tip.
And a lot of vision control coming in from both squads. It looks like neither one is super confident in where to go next. Deflube looking to roam a lot, but he's not picking up a lot of his jungle farm in the meantime. He's still comfortably ahead of Peter, though, but just hasn't had the same kind of impact while ganking those lanes.
Yeah, Deflube having a little bit of trouble getting in here in these ganks, where Peter's had a lot of success 2-on-3 on the Sejuani, like we said, really showing up.
And here we go. We're seeing Akhenbal is able to clear these waves so easily now that Right Nut really can't be in the top lane anymore, but maybe he can be in the mid lane. Doesn't decide to go in on a funky B. The team wasn't quite there to follow up, but keep in mind, Wolfmeister has Flash available, so that legendary Flash Tibbers. Oh, Hook laid on Swaggernock. He decides to go in, actually. Wasn't wise. The Lantern lands on a Peter, but do they have the damage to follow up? As Right Nut coming in on the Funky B, but he actually gets rooted up, and the Sona only lands on a Peter. Can they get more for it as the Misfortune Bullet Time cleans up a double kill? All 5 members of St.Olaf collapsing that very shady engage.
Yeah, Get Sleep getting a little bit too hypey there. He thinks he can do it, does not realize that the whole team of St.Olaf is there, and that bullet time cleaning up 2 kills.
They had the vision, though. Right Nut was in the mid lane, and the minions could see him, so I'm curious where they were looking to go with that. Maybe just a little bit of nerve showing up, trying to go in, trying to get a little too hypey, you know? But this does mean potentially an Infernal Drake. Almost said Elder. A little too early for that. Potentially Infernal Drake going over to St.Olaf, though, so that will match the oh my goodness, the Infernal. There we go, Infernal Drake from Winona, meaning that things are just kind of looking a little grim for them.
Yeah, Winona here still. They're still in this game, just 3,000 down. However, they have taken some casualties. That bullet time coming huge for Misfortune. She's getting bigger. She is going into the lethality build, where the Lucian chose to go Infinity Edge first.
Yeah, the crit build versus the lethality. Lethality is so strong right now. A lot of people prefer it, but we'll see what Lucian's able to do. This is a very old build. We haven't seen this in a really long time. Lucian building Infinity Edge.
First item IE is very curious. Even if you are going the crit build, it's normally Essence Reaver first, but maybe Fear Fraction knows something I don't.
He's got the secret strats,
yeah.
You know? He's got it in the books. And now again, we're seeing both teams kind of calming down. They're not looking to put as much pressure in these lanes, as Right Nut just cannot take this top turret. He wants it, though. You can tell. He keeps going back, pushing the lane in, and then roaming somewhere else, which is actually keeping Akhenbal there, who doesn't have TP up. So, the hook misses. Peter tries to engage, but he actually gets counter-engaged upon, but the hook, or the lantern, rather, gets him out.
Nice lantern out there from Thresh.
It's a tanky Sejuani.
Keeping Sejuani safe. And we are going to see possibly a fight
hook
here.
landed. Does he go in this time?
Does not want to go on under that Renekton. I'd say that's a wise choice.
The team was there to follow up, but still, I honestly don't know if Winona can win this 5v5 at this point in the game. Once Funky B is able to scale up a little more, and they channel their ult accordingly, I think that they have a really, really strong 5v5. But at this point in the game, they just don't quite have that damage right now.
And all 10 members here on the map grouping around this mid lane tower. They're trying to siege. Let's see what they can get.
In the meantime, top lane looks to be pushing in onto Winona, but actually Winona's wave will push it back. So that means that eventually one of these teams is going to have to back off and take care of the side lanes. In the meantime, though, it's very comfortable, just dancing around mid.
Let's see.
Oh, and the initiation goes in. Bullet time showing up. Fuse out to 3 members, and that's all 3 deleted. Peter can't take up that much as a double kill coming in for Annie. Right nut tanking up turret. Doesn't even bother him. And that is 4 for 1 on the side of St.Olaf. Really clean initiation. That wombo combo of the Amumu ultimate chained with bullet time for misfortune is so good.
As well as the Tibbers coming from the Annie. Some immense womboing coming here from St.Olaf and absolutely deleting their team, a 4 for 1 and the mid lane turret.
Yeah, Winona's got to be thinking, oh, God. that just happened. And a clean wave pushing into the bot lane means that this turret will be going down as well. So that 2 turrets picked up along with all the gold from the shutdown on Peter, as well as the shutdown on Fear Fracture. So this is just furthering the gold lead. Now 6k ahead for the side of St.Olaf.
Yes. Really pushing their advantages like we said that they needed to do. They have this aggressive comp, they have this great wombo, and they're executing it great.
So now we got to be thinking, what does Winona need to do? Where do they need to put their gold to ensure that they can still come back and still fight in these team fights? Akhenbal 0-3-1. He's really struggling playing this tanky top laner against the Renekton, but we're also seeing some struggles coming in from the bot lane now. Get Sleep, yeah, he has a 6 assists, but 3 deaths for him as well. Where we are seeing some glimmers of hope is from Fear Fracture. And again, Funky B, he's doing well, really far ahead in farm actually, and showing up for those team fights.
And that's where we want their glimmers of hope really to be. Those are the 2 damage dealers on this team. Those are going to be able to pick up these kills. And Maokai, one advantage of having him in the top lane is even if he's behind, he can be so relevant. He just gets so tanky.
Yeah, it doesn't really take that much for a Maokai to make an impact in the team fight. You know, just press R stand on your carries. But it really does add a lot to the team fight capabilities. And I think that this is the point where Fear Fracture would have been at that mid-game power spike, but building into the crit build, he's actually looking for a little bit of that late game as well. So the later the game goes, the better it's going to look for Winona. It's 24 minutes in, almost 24 minutes in, and they've already lost a lot of the map pressure.
Yeah, they're going to have to look to just continue to farm, try to avoid engages wherever they can. For the side of St.Olaf, should try to keep pushing these advantages, try to get all the objectives that they can pick up. Another Infernal coming up in a minute here. That will be a big second Infernal for either team.
Yeah, and whoever gets that, it's going to be significantly stronger in that late game. So I'd like to see Winona put a lot of focus. They're already trying to get that scuttle, but Peter might be getting a little too aggressive. Doesn't have a lot of team around him. They need to get vision on that drag, though.
I'm curious to see if the side of Winona here will choose to fight for this Infernal. It is important for them, but it is going to be very difficult for them to win a team fight here with St.Olaf so far ahead right now.
Yeah, Peter might be forced to try some kind of hero move, steal the dragon, you know, hop over with the plant, and then dash back over the wall. But it looks like they're actually opting to get some vision around here. They know, jumping over. I would have liked to see them save that, actually. It's a pretty good tool for getting into the dragon pit if you need to. But in the meantime, actually, Akhenbal didn't even notice pushing that top turret like a boss.
Akhenbal going to be able to pick that up. That will probably mean he does have TP up, so he can join this fight if they choose to.
He's pushing probably one more wave, then we'll look to join. If he can TP into the dragon pit, that's really good engage on the side of Winona. They're definitely looking to pressure this drag, and they don't want to give it up for free, but right now jumps right on to get sleeved, goes down, but there's the ultimate coming out from Misfortune. Bullet Time flashes in. Wolfmeister actually pays the price. In the meantime, however, as Akabal is so tanky, the TP finish. Can the Flu get anything on here? The crits coming in from Fear Fracture aren't quite enough. That's the triple kill for Right Nut. Flash away from Fear Fracture, but they want him. They're chasing him down through their own jungle. What can he get? Tries to get onto Swagnarok, but that is a kill and potentially a Baron for St.Olaf.
And a huge pickup here for St.Olaf. They have that great engage. We were saying we don't know if Winona can fight for that Infernal, and great engage. They turn off the Infernal and get that huge wombo that we were talking about. They're also going to be able to secure this Baron.
Well, they did. Winona stopped them from getting dragged. They did that.
At the expense of a few lives.
Yeah, it was a 4-for-1 trade. Somehow Funky B surviving every time. But it does mean Baron picked up for St.Olaf. What can they do with this now? They have their top lane pushed in, but their bot lane's wide open. Again, with no TPs, it's harder for them to rotate around the map.
They can really just group up as 5, though, if they want to. They can just brute force down these towers. And Winona maybe going to be able to pick up this Infernal for it.
Like this from Winona. If they can secure this, they get it.
Nice. Trading objectives where they can. They know that Baron is gone, so they go immediately to the Infernal, and they're able to pick it up.
Yeah, and if they can just continually stack up these dragons and just hold out this Baron, it's pretty early in the game for that Baron, which is great for St.Olaf, but the problem is it's a little difficult to push the lanes in to siege these turrets unless they can land that wombo combo again. Defloob's ultimate is almost up. Bullet time is up. I mean, everything is up almost for the side of St.Olaf, so their turret diving is going to be incredibly strong. As we've seen, they're not afraid to do.
Yeah, and right now, Faker 5-on-5 on this Renekton, just brute forcing down this tower. Gonna just pick up Inhib in Winona's face. They don't even care.
So, hey, you can't do anything about this. We know. Hey, let's get that top turret for you right now. You know, you deserve it. You roam. You help the team. Oh, do they want to engage on the Right Nut? I don't think so. They decide to back off.
Team-wise, that farm is pretty far away, so they're gonna have to take some time to push it in to be able to secure that top tower. But good rotation here from St.Olaf.
Yeah, they say we get mid Inhib. Top is already pushing, so let's just head there next.
Good Sleep trying to find something with that hook.
And unfortunately, Winona cannot do anything about this. They know the engaged potential from St.Olaf. They don't want to fall for it a second time. But the problem is with these Baron minions, they just can't clear the waves fast enough.
Yeah, and how much can they give up before they feel comfortable engaging? Because if they give up this second Inhib...
Ooh. Fear Fracture decides to ult the wave, just trying to clear it down as much as they can. This is really difficult for Winona. They know that they can't win the 5v5, and they know that they can't clear the waves. What they do, they engage on the Jim Rainer, and then Squishy does get sleep, distracts right now. He's jumping onto the back line, but Peter is only so tanky. Swagnarok picked up that kill. Akabal looks to be going down as well. That's 3 down on the side of Winona. Get Sleep is the next, and Funky B trying to hold off the squad of St.Olaf, but he might go down in the meantime. Barely gets away.
Barely gets away, and you can't really ask for a whole lot of a better engage there from the side of Winona. They get the triple Mansadwani under the turret, but St.Olaf just way too far ahead.
They are so tanky, and they are so aggressively strong right now. This is what they wanted to do. Snowball their lanes, get the early lead. As Funky B trying to play the hero, gets a kill. Has a gun, there's a second. Can he get right now to Faker? Going back in, this is a duel of the men. Can they get anything else? But no, unfortunately, the Nexus goes down. Funky B.
I'd be for Funky B at the end there. Pushing up the double, almost gets right now to Faker, but those Baron minions are pounding on the Nexus.
And victory over to St.Olaf. Now 3-1 in the standings. They got to be feeling pretty good about that, especially Right Nut with that Yasuo ban against him, saying, you know what, Renekton's just as good for me. Going 6-0-8 on the champion.
Yeah, Right Nut Faker popping off in this game, as well as Swagnarok. Some huge bullet times in that game.
Yeah, really, really ridiculous. Like, I don't really know what to say. Like there was really nothing Akabal could do. Once he got the Sunfire Cape, he was able to push out the lanes. They were able to rotate a little better, but I mean, even TPing in to those team fights, they still lost the team fight. So there's only so much a Maokai can do when he's that far behind of the Renekton.
Yeah, St. Olaf with that Wombo, like we've mentioned so many times, executing it so well that game. They have the Tibbers, the Annie stun, the Sona stun, the bullet time, and my goodness, Misfortune did a lot of damage that
Looking
game.
at these damage charts, 24,000 coming out from Misfortune. Second place being Renekton at 15. And
who you'd expect, the two Fed members from the winning team.
True, nothing too surprising. But what is interesting is how much damage Maokai did compared to Lucian. Akhenball actually doing a lot more to the enemy team than Fear Fracture, going for that crit build, trying to get that later game power spike, as Funky B was finally hitting his. He had Seraph, he had full stack Rod, but they just couldn't quite get him far enough into that late game. I mean, there wasn't much they could do being so far behind. I liked what Peter was trying to do, pressuring bot lane so much, getting Fear Fracture ahead, but I think what really hurt them is Fear Fracture was going for that late game power spike. If he had gone for the earlier game power spike, I mean, he's trying to build into Trinity Force.
Yeah, Fear Fracture gets spicy at the
trying to get two of the most expensive items as his first three really makes you struggle in the early game, even if you get those early kills. So interesting build there, but in the end, really well played from St. Olaf. We're going to take a short break here before we hop immediately back into our next game, which starting off game 2 of week 4 is St. Cloud against University of Minnesota Duluth Nova. So stick around and we'll be right back.
heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the follow, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to our second game of Week 4, Minnesota LCS. This one is going to be University of Minnesota Duluth Dads. They had a name change, no longer the Nova, now Dads.
The UMD Dads.
Dads, you know, I guess we didn't check the age of our players before. You know, we can have any age. We don't discriminate in Minnesota LCS. Playing against St. Cloud. So it's going to be a pretty good match here. I'm excited to see St. Cloud has yet to take a victory in this tournament. Already in Week 4, they are 0-3 in the standings. Could this be their chance to get that first win under their belt? They're against the Dads. I cannot take that seriously. All right, the Dads, who are 1-2 as of right now. So we'll see which of these teams can pull out the victory. Dads, this would be a great win for them. Makes them even 2-2. That's pretty good stats going in to our Week 5 when there are, again, 11 weeks. So no one is out of playoff spot positions, but it is looking a bit stressful for teams that are 0-3. They need to start getting wins under their belt. So what can St. Cloud do to come back from this? But to celebrate the UMD Dads name change, how about some dad jokes? Sam, you know any?
Not off the top of my head.
Not okay. Well, thank God we have Reddit. Why do paramedics always come in twos?
Because they're paramedics. That is seriously the dumbest joke.
You're supposed to say why. You're supposed to say it. Come on. You're supposed to say why, and then I
got the answer right in front of me, man.
All right, we'll look up another one later. Both teams almost loaded in. We're a little early, 10 minutes early. We just felt like, getting back in, maybe getting an early start to this game, but maybe they'll take their time.
We'll see. The Dads are ready to go.
Yeah, they're rearing.
Are always on time.
Yeah, Dad's very, punctual.
Seldomly late.
But the St. Clouds, oh man, don't even get me
Those
started.
college kids.
Yeah, come on. What do you got? And again, looking at some of the ranks of these individual players, I always like to bring that up at the beginning of matches, not to make anybody feel bad, but just to kind of highlight what can happen when a team is more skilled. We just saw St.Olaf take a win over Winona when on average they have higher skilled players, higher ranked players, that is. Doesn't necessarily mean skill, but higher ranks, and they did take the win. So we can see, does that actually have a strong correlation? On the side of the Dads, they have a lot of plats with 1 gold, 1. So close. Almost there. Whereas on the side of St. Cloud, they have a silver and a gold. We'll see if they're able to maybe get some of their other players in here, see what their ranks are. But as of right now, they're looking a little lower ranked than their opponents. That can oftentimes lead to a lot of difference in playmaking calls. Typically, the higher ranked players have a little more experience. They'll be the ones making more calls for objectives, whereas the lower ranked players are a lot of fun just due to the fact of how much they prioritize team fights and kind of getting kills.
Yeah, and we'll see if St. Cloud can break their losing streak here this week. They are playing against another 1-2 squad in the Dads, so both teams trying to get in the winning end of one of these games here.
And I just want to point out dad joke in the comments section. How does a train eat?
How, Steve?
It goes choo choo choo. Hey. There you go. See, that's how you do a dad joke. You gotta play along with it.
How, Steve? Tell me.
That's Sir Buttkick too. Watch your tongue. All right, and just waiting a little longer. We have a lot of people in spectator mode, so potentially waiting to get everybody in the correct order. Maybe they're waiting for their mid lane, as we know that Use 80 Carry and Bait and Sean Nelson are the bot lane duo. Love that name. Use 80 Carry and Bait.
Great name.
Classic.
Yeah.
Classic St. Cloud. And it looks as if we might be... Oh, they loaded in the wrong order. Okay, there we go. Sean Nelson is the 80 carry. 80 carry. Oh, boy.
My God.
They're messing with me. There we go. We're getting there. And again, looking at some of those ranks, we're seeing an average sitting somewhere in low golds for the side of St. Cloud, whereas on the side of the dads, sitting more in the low platinum. So we'll see how that translates into the late game. As many of my plat friends have said, plat is basically bronze, so maybe I'm thinking too much about it. And now we're seeing some of these players. Oh, my favorite name to say, I usually just call him Kitty Robot, just because he reminds me of a cat and a robot. Or you could call him OL upper arrow X upper arrow LO, if you prefer. You know, your preference.
That's a little bit too hard for
me. You know. Ask the players what they want to be called and call them that. Nerf a collie, please. How long have you had that name? Whew. When was the last time a collie needed to be nerfed?
I haven't seen a collie in a while.
I'll take a collie. That was a thing for a
I
bit.
hope he plays a collie.
I would love to see it. Or maybe he just hates a collie so much. That's what made the name change. Maybe they're going to ban it right away. All right. And both teams almost ready to go. Kitty Robot, Zax, is asking for it to be called that. Okay, good. Thank God. I did not want to have to...
OLX, LO.
And
OLX, in the top lane.
Hey, gets a Penta, right? Yeah, Kitty Robot sounds better.
Kitty Robot's cool.
But Kitty Robot, not Kitty Robo. All right. I'll have to get used to that. And we're asking just for a minute from the side of St. Cloud. Probably just got to get a little situated, get their team ready, get the clear comms, good calls. That's how you win games, fellas. Okay, we got another dad joke. What do you call a belt made out of watches?
What do you call it, Sir Buttcake?
A waste of time. Hey! It's funny because it is a waste of time. That would never hold up your pants. All right, and loading into this game.
Never hold up your pants.
We didn't even talk about picks and bans, but we don't need to because we're already in there. We're going to see them firsthand. What are they going to ban first? It's actually the Karma going against Cripple. Interesting choice there. We haven't seen that many Karma bans coming out lately.
Varus, a pretty high priority choice as of late, being banned from the AD carry position.
Yeah, that lethality build on him is incredibly annoying. He can poke down enemy AD carries. 1Q in the late game will usually do about 3/4. 3/4 health. Easy. And another Graves ban. This is the second game in a row this week now that we've seen that jungler taken off the table. What do you think that means for Graves going forward?
With all the other jungler nerfs, I think that Graves is one of the best junglers right now, and we've seen him have success in this league, like we said before, so it makes sense that he's seeing a lot of bans.
Yeah, a lot of these junglers really enjoy playing him. He's kind of a pocket pick for a bunch of them, so it makes a lot of sense taking him off. And now a Katarina ban. That's not a collie. Close. They sound similar, yeah.
Katarina.
Both ninja ladies with knives, I guess.
And another AD carry being taken off the board here. Jhin and Varus, often seen as the two best AD carries right now.
This is not going to be an LCS match of only Varus v Jhin. And Malzahar has seen some nerfs going back. I mean, even week 2, he had that nerf on him. But again, giving respect to use AD carry as bait. I haven't seen that many of these games, unfortunately. So I got to go back and watch some of those games. Maybe use AD carry as bait. Very comfortable on Malzahar. Or maybe the side of the dad still consider it a top priority power pick.
Yeah, still respecting the power of this Malzahar. And with 2 AD carry bans, taking 2 AD carry bans we're at, they decide to take the Ezreal's first pick.
Yeah, they don't want the AD carry pool limited anymore. And Sean Nelson popped off on Ezreal, to say the least. Last time we saw him, the team still didn't win, but he was able to really help out in that week 1, way back when we casted their game. Yeah. So we'll see if he's able to do the same thing here. He's definitely comfortable on the champion, so they don't want that to be picked away. Giving it to Sean Nelson early, but this means that they're showing their bot lane already. What can they counterpick on the side of the dads?
Well, one good thing from picking Ezreal as AD carry is he is extremely safe. He's very slippery. He's hard to really counterpick. He can poke from such a distance. He has the E to dash out of skill shots.
And now we're seeing Zyx. There's Kitty Robot, I guess, rather, picking Zyra for his bottom lane Cripple, and Zyx locking in Elise. So that's 2 AP dealing champions. One of them, like the carry support, as we like to call them, you know. Yeah. Send your supports top lane and your carries bot.
And we did see Zyra also receive a few nerfs, but the dads prioritizing her just as if she was as good as she was before.
Yeah, the plants no longer prioritizing nearby champions and still instead smacking anything nearby means that she's a little less reliable in the lane poke, but she still does so much damage. And the answer is a Hecarim Ahri.
Hecarim being taken into this Elise here, and Ahri in the mid lane being blind picked.
I like this choice, except for the Ahri. I would have liked to maybe see a support picked up. The jungle makes complete sense, but they're showing their mid lane now. This gives Nerf Akali Please a chance to counterpick that. Whereas if they picked a support into the Zyra, maybe they could have gone for something a little safer. Like, well, I guess Karma and Malz are both off the table, so what's left? Lulu is still fairly popular right now. Tom Kench has seen some play.
Tristana would be spicy. I've not seen that champ for a while. She did receive a small buff.
And Brand locked in as well.
Lots of magic damage coming here from the dads.
A large amount of AP. They're going to need some kind of tank now. Probably going to go top as they hope to have this Tristana skill as their AD carry, their attack damage. And they do lock it in. So that is the strategy. Have the Zyra early game as Tristana just keeps ramping up. Ooh, a Kled hover. That would be spicy.
That would be spicy. I'd like to see the Kled. And they will have to blind pick their top laner here as they blind pick their mid laner. And Tristana, very weak early, but as she scales, like you said, and gets into the late game, extremely, extremely strong.
Yeah, she doesn't quite have the same spicy build of Gwynsu's Rage Blade back in spring of last year.
That was a fun time.
I mean, Jax was a thing still.
That was not as fun.
But we're going to see what she picks. Probably crit, but do you think lethality can be built on Tristana? That's a question that's been asked a little bit. Most people think not, but some people believe it can.
I don't think it can, but we'll see if Snowcane can prove me wrong here.
True. And in response, Kled is locked in for Combray. Really fun champ to watch. A lot of roam potential. And also can kind of dominate lane if they're a skilled enough player. Just kind of odd in team fights. The initiation's great, but he's not quite tanky enough to tank. He's not quite damaging enough to jump on a backline and assassinate them. So he's odd to play in those 5v5s, but if he can get ahead in lane or even just roam mid and pick up something there, very strong. And the Zillion support, we've seen use AD carry as bait play this before with the Ezreal. I like the bot lane combo that they put together.
And Poppy being locked in here for the side of the dads, going to try to counter pick this Kled. Poppy's still very strong. They want that tank in the top lane. It'll be relevant the entire game.
And think about it, it's just the Poppy rather. Both Yordles, all Yordles look the same. No offense to any Yordles listening. Poppy though, with the ultimate, being able to just knock away Kled or Hecarim even, if you can channel it fast enough, can be a huge tool during those 5v5 initiations from the side of the dad. So I'd like to see Kitty Robot use that effectively. We'll see what he's able to bring to the table. But let's talk a little bit about this jungle matchup more. What do you think about the Elise into the Hecarim? Or rather, the Hecarim into the Elise, because they opted that.
Hecarim into the Elise. So that the Hecarim and the Elise both have great early game ganking potential. They both, unlike last game, both champions need a little bit more time to get their ganks in order. These two champions can gank very early, and I'm curious to see where they'd like to put their pressure.
And we're talking about last game, the Amumu versus the Sejuani. They're both like, let's stay out of each other's jungles, play a clean game. Well, Elise and Hecarim, they love going into the other jungle. So we'll see how much blood is shed in the jungles this game. I'm expecting to see a lot, and we're seeing the Zyra is going support with the Brand mid. That was pretty expected. Zyra mid hasn't seen a lot of popularity for a very long time. But again, that double AP pressure is going to be incredible for them.
Yeah, and that AD damage coming from the side of the dads is going to take a little bit of time to come online. The Tristana as well as the Poppy not unleashing an incredible amount of AD early in the game. So these magic damage dealers are going to look to carry early.
The only issue is on the side of St. Cloud. They don't really have a tank. They have Hecarim, they have Kled, which both can build tanky. They both get slightly beefier later in the game, but it takes them a little longer than, say, a Maokai or a Nautilus or the Poppy, for example. So who's going to build all that MR to survive Brand and Zyra in the early game? Because Kled and Hecarim are going to be building their tanky items a little later. They got to be able to get those damaged items to get the clears down. So by the time they get their MR, well, now they got to worry about Tristana's damage. So it's going to be interesting to see how they build into it. Maybe we'll see an Ezreal going Iceborne Gauntlet this time instead of the stereotypical Trinity Force that has risen in popularity.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what this Ezreal wants to do here. Does he want to go for the tier? He can be slightly more passive. The Tristana's not going to bully him too much early, so he doesn't need to go for the damage if he doesn't want to. But if he wants to be aggressive in this lane, he can go for the Triforce early and try to punish this Tristana.
Yeah, and the ganking potential on the side of St. Cloud, I think, is slightly higher than the side of the Dads due to Zilean being able to boost that Hecarim speed. Anytime you have a support or a mid laner, or really anybody that can make Hecarim run faster, that's good. They have a Kled Zilean. That Hecarim should be running pretty fast. So in those later stages of the game, they're definitely going to be looking to make picks. They have the Ahri Charm. If they land it on a squishy target, which there are plenty to pick from, they will probably be able to delete that target. And if Combre is able to roam mid, roam bot when he needs to, that's going to be a huge tool in their utility belt, their Batman tool belt, as it were.
I'm curious to see how fast this Hecarim can get this game, man.
Max speed.
Ghost, Kled ulti, Zilean speed up. Oh my gosh.
We just need a Karma mid, and what AD carry would work? Just heal. I just pop the heal.
Oh, yeah. I guess.
That works, yeah.
A little 1 second speed boost. Or
chase AD carry. Why not? Just try it out. Break the meta. We're loading into this game, though, in 15 minutes. So we talked a lot about the pros and cons of both teams. Overall, who do you think had the better pick and ban phase, however?
Ooh, this one's pretty close. I kind of like the side of... I think I like St. Cloud's comp a little bit better here. They had the safe pick with the Zilean, even though they aren't going to be able to build those MR items early. Like we said, they do have the revive from the Zilean, and just a very aggressive early comp. Yeah,
they can rush on the back line, and whoever rushes the back line, even if they get burst, hopefully won't die, as long as you use AD carries. Beta is able to chan that Zilean ultimate fast enough. But I got to give it over to the side of the Dads. Their AP pressure in the early game, along with the AD pressure in the late game, is going to make the builds a little hard for the side of St. Cloud, or St. Cloud. Oh, so many Saints in this tournament. I got it, though. I got it. St. Cloud. So I got to give it to them as well. They have the pure tank. They have Poppy in the top lane, who's able to stop a lot of the dashing in from Hecarim, from Kled, from Ahri, from Ezreal. That steadfast presence is going to be really strong in these team fights. So I got to give it over to them, but I see the strengths of the side for St. Cloud.
Yeah, St. Cloud having that great engage with all the speed, like we said. However, we do have, from the opposing side, we have the Poppy ultimate as well as the Tristana ultimate. So some great disengage from the good engage of the opposing team. Yeah. So we'll see what wins out there.
And loading into this game, we have Combre in the top lane, Burga jungle, Springs 24 mid, with Sean Nelson as use 80 carry as bait in the bot lane for the side of St. Cloud. On the side of the Dads, however, Kitty Robot, everybody's favorite robot, top side. Elise mid with Zyx playing her. Nerf Akali, please, taking the mid lane brand. Snowcane and Cripple rounding out the bottom side. We'll see which team is able to take the victory here. And looking at, again, some of those borders going into this game, it's a little more evenly matched than I at first thought. There's a diamond and 4 golds on the side of St. Cloud. And then I believe there were 3 plats, a gold, and a diamond on the side of the Dads. So a little closer matchup than I thought. The average rank slightly less polarizing.
That Tristana skin looks really cool when he's running out that thing.
I did not even notice that, but yes, it does. I agree.
That's my input to that.
Great commentary. Yeah, we're done. We're gonna just let the camera work, and
I've never seen that before. When Tristana gets that speed boost out of base, that looks sick on that skin.
It's kind of like the Santa Braum when he rides a little Poro sleigh. That's my favorite. Tristana's cool too. And we're seeing a little bit of aggression here. Ooh, Burga spots him out. Doesn't want to go in.
Zyx getting that little early spiderling. Take that.
I did damage first. If he even did. I don't know. Maybe just wasted the mana. It's precious for a jungler, man. And again, these builds, Sean Nelson, Snowcane, we talk about this every single game, but I think it's still a good point to bring up, both picking Doran's Blade instead of the Longsword. And now on the side of the junglers, Burga opting to take the Talisman. instead of the machete. So a little bit of a different preference from the junglers here. What are your thoughts on the jungle items?
Well, Hecarim is starting the red buff, which may be why he chose the talisman. Wants a little bit more mana regen, where the Elise is choosing to start the blue buff, and she'll have that mana regen early, so she wants lifesteal.
Yeah, typical starts for these junglers is they both get their leashes, and they're heading to the bot side now. And Combray versus Kitty Robot topside. Who do you think wins in this matchup, the Kled or the Poppy?
I feel as though Kled should have the early advantage, try to get some good pressure in this lane early, where the Poppy will probably outscale later in the game, getting so tanky, and just really great engage from both top laners. Poppy with the ultimate and the dash in, and Kled with the ultimate.
Yeah,
as well as the bear trap.
This is true. Almost similar to last game in the way of if the tank can survive long enough, they're in a really good position, but if they get pushed out and lose lane early, it's going to be a little difficult for their team. So we'll see, can Kled beat Poppy in the early game, as the trades are slightly going in the favor. Keep in mind, anytime that little mount gets damaged and goes down, Combray still hasn't taken any damage himself. And he does lose him. Ooh, that never feels good.
Never feels good as a Kled player.
But he's out of lane already. Ooh,
the double stun.
Stun on the Snow Cane and Cripple. But now Burga is getting engaged upon in the jungle by Zayax. The bird is there. Flash from Zayax. Can he get the first blood? And he does.
Some great early invade there from Zayax, as we were saying. These two junglers both very aggressive early, want to get in the opposing jungle, and Zayax gets the better side of Burga there.
Exactly what Elise needs to do, being such an aggressive jungler, really strong in the 1v1, even in the enemy's jungle, being able to just burst him down, and Zayax showing his skill on this champion.
Does have to burn the flash, but also gets Burga's ghost. Both those summoners will be down for a little bit. Some action in the bottom
bot laners are looking to fight as Exhaust goes on to Snow Cane, but the bomb is on Sean Nelson. Doesn't get much for it. But now we're seeing a disengage, as it's only a summoner spell from the side of St. Cloud.
Yeah, good little engage there from the side of the dads. They get the Exhaust out of these 80 carry bait. They will have that advantage for a little bit.
Yeah. Both these supports try to poke each other down, trying to poke down the 80 carries, as all good supports should do. Ranged supports, at least. Ooh, Combray missing the hook means that it's going to be difficult for Burga to get up there, as he just clears a ward.
Does get that ward, can look back, and knows that there'll be no vision there now.
Yeah, but he is spotted in the tri-bush, so he's going to have to go back, which means that Zayax knows he's there and can plan accordingly, deciding to back, actually. As now Burga heads back to his jungle, but he's got nothing to clear. He can get the Scuttle Crab, but where's he going to go next? It's going to take him a while to get down to the bot lane. So his jungle pressure is so far behind Zayax right now.
Yeah, and these jungle camps can be a little bit deceiving with the farm, but Zayax with really an enormous lead here on Burga early. 21-8 in farm, as well as that early first blood kill.
Yeah, and this is what happens when you're playing Zilean in the bottom lane. Mana can be an issue, especially if you're choosing to take Ancient Coin as opposed to the Spell Thieves, but is able to get away. Combray almost getting engaged upon by Kitty Robot. If Kitty Robot had gotten that into the wall, might have been another kill.
Yeah, a game of inches there for Kitty Robot. Misses the wall by a little bit, and also misses the second half of the Q by a little bit. If he had both those damage, you might have been able to take the kill there.
Had flash available, so maybe if you were feeling really spicy, you could have gone for it.
Some bot lane trading in the farm. They're both very even so far. They do get that teleport out of Combray in the top lane.
But now he's jumping in on the Kitty Robot. Can he get the damage? Flash is still available. Flash is back in. Can he get the auto attack? There's turret. Oh, Kitty Robot gets away with a sliver of health.
That feels bad for Combray there. Down to about 1 HP on the Poppy. Poppy getting does not realize really how much danger he's in there when the teleport comes in. But just trading flashes. And
also trading teleports as Kitty Robot now TPing down. We're seeing Zayax on the bottom side. Burga is there as well, but so low on mana. Can Zayax get anything for this? Sean Nelson use 80 carry as bait, trying to bully him out. Saying, hey, get away from our jungler. Let him farm.
Get him out so that Burga can secure those.
Kitty Robot has level 6. Doesn't quite get the wall stun.
missing those stuns by inches. Very, very close.
Yeah, just trying to get the mount off of Kled so that he can actually start doing the damage he needs to.
And let's see where Zayek's bats here. We know that he has such an early lead. Like we said, he's kind of living in Burga's jungle right now, trying to get whatever he can. Looks like he's kind of hovering around this Dragon area, trying to pick up vision of that Mountain Drake.
Yeah, and as of itemization right now, Zayax does have the advantage with Chilling Smite available, meaning that his ganks will just be a little stronger than Burga's for the moment, but Burga just trying to clear up and get back. Nerf Akali, please. Really pressuring Ari. Apparently he doesn't have a problem with that champion.
Nice.
Yeah, I got it. League jokes that only apply to this game. And Spring's actually getting aggressive on the Nerf Akali, please. There's the ultimate from Brand. Does not land on the Springs, however, but there is Kitty Robot. He will get there. Flash away from Springs. No flash from Kitty Robot. The ult winds up and is just enough to get Springs.
Good aim on that ult there from the Poppy, and great roam down from Kitty Robot there. Nerf Akali sees that the Poppy's coming down and kind of gets great position really there on Springs. Springs dashes in and they immediately take advantage.
Yeah, Springs getting really aggressive, trying to burn Nerf Akali Please's ultimate, and in the meantime, maybe get some summoner spells, potentially even get the 1v1. But he just did not see Kitty Robot right there in his own jungle.
And the dad's doing pretty good job of controlling this early game at about a 1.5k gold lead here at 8 minutes.
And a lot of that coming, I think, from that mid lane as Nerf Akali Please getting a big farm advantage on the Springs 24. Combre struggling so much with Kitty Robot as he... Oh!
Kitty Robot with a great trade there. Combre does get a decent amount of return damage on
But now we're seeing Zayax coming up to the top side. Burga is not close enough, isn't even level 6, but Combre gets his mount back. Kled has his mount. That is every jungler's bane when they're like, hey, he's so low, come on, come top. Ah, you lied to me. And some Vision Wars in the bottom side. Very exciting to talk about. Going back again to that mid lane, Springs 24, when he died there, he had to have been looking for some kind of way to get an advantage onto Nerf Akali Please. The Ari into the Brand. Pretty difficult if Brand is good at landing his skill shots.
Yeah,
just out damages you.
Did not expect Kitty Robot to be
now Burga's on the other side as ultimate goes into the Springs. Will it be enough to kill him? It is! That's a kill picked up for Nerf Akali Please, but Burga's right on the backside. Flash available for Brand. Flashes the wall. Saves his life.
Really well played from Nerf Akali Please. Gets the flash through the wall after securing that kill in the 1v2.
And we're seeing this is where Burga's refusal actually to back and get the Chilling Smite is really hurting him. If he had gotten Chilling Smite onto Nerf Akali Please and maybe also burned his Ghost, he could have been able to get that kill. But a little hesitation, not wanting to burn the Summoner, and also not backing to get some of those items that might be helping him out right now. Ooh, using AD Carry's Bane, choosing to level up Sean Nelson outside of the bush, but Combre jumping in onto Kitty Robot, who has very little mana, does not have flash available, has no jungler nearby. This is gonna be a kill for Combre, who flashes in actually. Might not have been necessary, but that bear trap gets the kill as Burga tries to gank bottom, doesn't quite get it, almost dies in the meantime. Snow Cane might be going down to that bomb, probably not, and it is an even trade of poke damage.
Lots of summoners traded there, and they still want more. Right from the Zyra just misses onto the Ezreal.
Would have been a huge turning point as Zyx was right there and is also very strong, but he himself is not backed in quite a while. So these junglers really taking their time, trying to aggressively farm and then back and maybe just get a full item, honestly.
And this bot lane, there has been a decent amount of trading like we just seen, but no really large advantages. Snow Cane does have a small CS advantage.
Ooh, Sean Nelson taking a lot of damage from Cry. Ooh, jumps away just in time, but that was almost a death. If Snow Cane had flashed instead of jumping, perhaps he could have gotten it.
Well played by Cripple there, and now the bot lane that we were just saying, it's been pretty even all game. The side of the Dads is going to pick up a huge advantage there.
Yes, skyrocketed in their favor.
Getting a large amount of damage on this turret, going to be able to pick up these waves and push these into turret, denying a lot of farm from
Might even get the turret as a Tristana does so much damage. Berga's nowhere nearby to stop it. That's first turret over the side of the Dads.
No one there to help them, and the Dads will be able to pick that up, increasing their lead to about 3K now.
And now Zayek's hovering around that dragon, but now jumps onto Berga as the Nerf Akali Please is nearby. They can't quite get him as he burns Ghost to jump away.
Decides not to go for it here, and they do get a lot of advantage over this dragon area after chunking out the Hecarim.
And we're watching this jungle going straight for drag as Zayek says, hey, I already pushed Berga out. This should be free, unless there's some kind of cheesy steal from Sean Nelson.
And there goes the cheesy steal.
There it goes. That was the chance. Okay, you had one shot, Sean Nelson. A true shot is not true. As the first dragon goes over to the side of the Dads, really seeing what happens when the Elise rather gets ahead of the Hecarim, having the full Runic Echoes jungle item really puts him ahead of Berga. Could easily do a 1v1 against that Hecarim right now.
Yeah, and Kitty Robot, we've seen pushing in constantly this entire game, but Comrie doing a good job of keeping the farm even, also kills are even, very even in the top lane, even though the Kitty Robot has been able to get a lot of priority up there.
Unfortunately, Comrie just hasn't been able to back and get more items. This is the story of St. Cloud's life right now. They just are struggling to get these power advantages. They have all this farm, but what can they do with it? As he now burns teleport to get back in the lane, can he actually 1v1 the Kitty Robot as he jumps in? The minion wave is not in his advantage, however. He might need to back off as Kitty Robot wins that trade slightly.
Gets to keep his Scarl.
Yeah, the mount is still there.
Small advantages.
Zayek has no business going up top. Well, maybe. You can still pick up something. As bot lane actually getting engaged upon, use A to carry. It's taking so much damage. Snowcane has flash available. Does he go in? Doesn't even need to. The bomb is going to be enough. But the Zillion ultimate saves his life. There's no turn to fall back on, though. Can they get Snowcane? Exhaust is there. Snowcane actually has to jump away as Sean Nelson takes him down. Didn't even burn a heal. And the stun onto Cripple means this might be a double for Sean Nelson. And it is.
Looked really good there from the Dads for a while there, but excellent ultimate by AD Carry as bait, and Sean Nelson the entire time unleashing the damage and able to pick up a double kill.
Kitty Robot taking 3 turret shots means that Berga will easily be able to jump in. No mana has flash available, but that might not even want to use it. Does actually to get behind Zayek, who says, hey Berga, I see you.
Both junglers going to this top lane, kind of.
Oh, but Nerva Gully Please does not want it to end. Lands the stun, but misses the W. Throws that ult out just for the passive. You know, says, hey, yeah, you didn't see anything. Don't worry.
I didn't miss that ability.
No, it was calculated. And that means that it is an advantage again to the side of the Dads. Even though Sean Nelson picked up that clean double kill bot lane, really well played from Zillion and Ezreal, but can Springs 24 get away from this? Nerf Akali Please has flash available. Charm lands. Oh, flash over the wall, misses the stun. Does not have ult available, though. He might not want this fight as the teleport's coming in. Can Springs get the damage in time? Doesn't even see it. He's still going for it, but he's going down. There's the ultimate. And the passive explosion from Brand picks up another kill.
And Kitty Robot there just for a little bit of help. Doesn't really need it, though. And gonna want to get back to that top lane so that Comrie can't get too much of advantage up there.
Yeah, it doesn't even pick up an assist, but just having the teleport made Springs 24 make a split-second decision. Either he didn't see it coming in or he saw it and said, you know what, I gotta get something because I might not get out of this. And Berga this is not his jungle anymore. You can say that safely. He is struggling against Zayek.
Kitty Robot trying to get something for the teleport, though. They do get a lot of damage on that mid lane turret, but he will have to rotate back up top.
Keep in mind, first turret has already gone down to the Dad's bot lane, so Comrie pushing this top turret isn't getting much of an advantage.
Zayek is being so annoying for Berga. Has that early advantage, is constantly in his jungle.
Kitty Robot wants to fight, thinks he has the advantage, and it looks as if he does, out-trading Comrie. If he's able to pick up that shield, there's not much a Kled can do.
And Kitty Robot has missed that wall stun by a millimeter like 10 times. Let's feel bad for him, man.
Hey, he keeps trying. You gotta give the kid credit. He's not letting it get him down. See, what happens when you fall down, Sam? You get
what
back
happens,
up.
Sir Bud?
You'll learn how to get back up. There's something. It was from Batman. I know I messed it up. I tried. Something where the drug is going. All right, and now Combre struggling to stop this 3-man engagement on the top side. I'll just take the minion. That's all I need. I just want to farm more.
They do stop the assault on the top lane tower.
And now what will the dads do in reply? It looks like they're setting 5-man top, but their bottom turret's looking pretty low. And with Springs 24 there, it might just be a turret for a turret trade. Honestly, I think St. Cloud might just want to give this up. I don't know if they can win the 4v5, but Zyx is actually backing off. And Snowcane doing so much damage.
There he found it.
Kitty Robot actually jumped onto Burger, who's able to ult over the wall. And the Brand ultimate is out onto the bot lane. Combre, use AD carry as bait, struggling a little bit here as the camera can't even catch up, but that's going to be another kill, I believe. It actually isn't, as use AD carry as bait, I believe ults himself, but Sean Nelson goes down solo. Zyx in the mid lane, and things are falling apart for St. Cloud.
Yeah, and Zyx leaves that top lane push to go mid and stop, and even picks up the kill onto that Ezreal, stops the tower push and picks up a kill. And the dads are continuing to push in this top lane, and they might be looking to get another tower here.
Yeah, Springs 24 joined the action on the top side, so he's no longer pushing in that bot turret, but they decide, what, they don't want that much. Backing away. Ooh, ultimate coming out from Cripple, stops the engage from Combre. Really well played there.
Great disengage there from Cripple, perfect ultimate. Not allowing his team members to be jumped up.
Yeah, carrying the team on his back. That 0-1-0 Zyra, 12 farm. Don't mess with her.
Do not mess with her.
She's scarier than you know.
Probably one shot that is real.
Probably. In all honesty, yeah. Especially if he has the help of his team there, which it seems like it's going to be like this for the rest of the game. The dads looking to roam together and group for these early game team fights.
Yeah, the dads are able to pick up a lot of advantages here. They want to get this second Mountain Drake, it looks like.
That would be really good for them. We've already seen their willingness to siege so early in the game. With a second Mountain Drake, they could siege even harder, let alone the pressure for Baron later in the game is just enormous with that double mountain.
Yeah, and St. Cloud giving up that top tower to try to get priority in this dragon area. And let's see if they can pick this up cleanly.
I like the call. They say we don't need to answer that top. We can trade one turret for the second Mountain Drake. They're still ahead in turrets, still ahead in gold, and that second drag is going to do wonders for them going forward here.
Yeah, so much damage to objectives now with that second mountain. They also have the Tristana, who is incredible at taking down towers, and they're going to have a lot of sieging potential here in this game.
Yeah, only not even 20 minutes in, and already a pretty sizable gold lead for the side of the dads. But what are they going to do with it? Do they need to pressure mid, or do they need to pressure more objectives? What do you feel?
Well, they still have this Poppy splitting in the top, which is what I think they should continue to do. Have this Poppy split while the other 4 members group probably in the mid lane so that it's easier for the Poppy to join, and they should be able to really take care of these team fights. Burger looking to get onto Kitty Robot.
Takes the farm instead. Kitty Robot might need to wind up that ultimate. Doesn't have the blast cone to get away, but just walks away instead.
Just give up on it. It is pretty hard to chase a Poppy with ulti up.
But that was 4 members of St. Cloud sent to the top side to try to get something there.
Now the dad's picking up a lot of priority in this mid lane. Have a wave to push in. Going to try to siege this tower.
Yeah, you got to wonder what St. Cloud is thinking. They're trying to get an advantage for Kled, I guess, to take down the Poppy. That's not really the sieging pressure from the side of the dads. They really need to deal with this Tristana. She can just push through these turrets, but again, Durga is topside. His Cripple goes down in the mid lane. That's a lot of burst damage, but Sean Nelson might pay the price as he gets ulted by Brand. The heal does not save him. Springs 24 going down as well. It picks up a double beforehand. Can they get anything else? Nervicali, please, turns back around. Wants to get the bomb, gets the kill. Can Kitty Robot survive this 2-on-1? Does not. And in the end, it is an advantageous trade for St. Cloud in terms of kills, but they're going to lose that mid turret.
And that fight kind of all over the place there. Ended up getting a 3 for 2 in the side of the dads.
Yeah, it sucks because you feel
or in
good.
the side of the
St. Cloud.
St. Cloud.
I mean, it feels good to get those kills, but at the same time, you're losing turret. And you're also just not pressuring the map. Taking down the Poppy doesn't do much. I mean, Kitty Robot's going to come up, has teleport, can just go straight back top lane if he wants.
Yeah, can continue to push this in. He's going to have constant pressure in this lane throughout the game. It's going to make it very difficult. Does the side of St. Cloud want to send multiple members up there to try to stop his push? If that's the case, then the dads will just have priority wherever they want, in the bot lane, in the top lane, as they group and are ahead right now.
And I got to credit Kitty Robot. He is behind in farm just slightly, but also behind in kill participation and just gold in general. So still being able to hold his own against Combre and bait in Burga to have to come top as Combre's trying to fight Zayax. Can he take down all the Spiderlings? It does not look like he will be able to, as Zayax is bursting down. Flash away from Combre. The team is there as backup. There's the ultimate, and Sean Nelson picks up a kill on the Zayax, but Springs 24 once more does not know that Snowcane is there as he picks up a kill. Burger trying to get on the back line, but Nervicali Please is here. This is a fiesta if I've seen one. As Burger jumps over the wall onto the support, can he get anything for it? This is what we're talking about. Zyra, very scary, and
oh my god,
almost gets away. Kitty Robot trying to stall St. Cloud as much as he can so that they cannot help Burga. But now he's looking to re-engage. The Snow King comes in, uses it, he carries bait, has a flash away, still has ultimate available. Does he use it on himself? He doesn't. Doesn't get it out in time as Kitty Robot jumps onto the backline. They can't get out because of that heroic, or the steadfast presence rather. And a really, really clean team fight. Or I don't even know if it's clean. Just a messy team fight from St. Cloud.
But it goes very well for the side of the dads there. They pick up a 4-0, and now looking up to pick up this Baron with the double Mountain Drake. It's going to get shredded.
Yeah, this is not looking good for St. Cloud. They're going to have to find a way back into this game where they have no drags for the late game, and they're losing a Baron at 23 minutes when the enemy team didn't even need their jungler.
Yeah, and that started off very good there from the opposing side. They picked up the kill on the Ezreal onto the support, and then they just got a little bit too greedy. After that kill, they could have just backed off, but they wanted to continue to go, and they lose 4 members for it as well as the Baron. Yeah,
they bursted Zayax. Sean Nelson, clean ultimate there. 2-shot barrage was true that time, but again, I mean, Kitty Robot being on the back line constantly is really, really hurting the side of St. Cloud. We're talking about this a little bit in Champion Select. Poppy is the true tank. He can tank up a lot of the damage from the enemy team for a really long time while his team cleans up the Hecarim or cleans up the Kled who jumps on their carries. So I think a little bit of this can be said is happening because of the drafting phase.
Yeah, Kitty Robot having 3 members of the enemy team on for a decent amount of that fight is able to stay alive with the ultimate, and then he sees his teams coming back in. He immediately starts to fight.
Yeah, and so many control wards being placed from the side of St. Cloud, but they're all being spotted and taken down. But you got to credit them for trying to keep that vision alive, doing whatever they can, as it looks like there might be another fight around Dragon. It is a Cloud Drake.
And I do not think that St. Cloud should fight for this, at least. I don't know if they will or not. They are being pretty aggressive here in this area.
As UZ80 carries bait, bursting down Kitty Robot. So much damage there.
6 damage onto the double stun for the Poppy.
And Kitty Robot has really reached the ideal level for a tank. He has Sunfire, and he also has Spirit Visage. This is a pretty big power spike. You got a lot of armor and a lot of MR, and especially a ridiculous amount of health right now. So he's looking to be very confident going forward in these team fights. And who's going to be putting the damage on him? I mean, Sean Nelson has Trinity Force, but hasn't got his Muramana Mana Moon rather fully stacked into the Muramana, so he can't quite get that damage out, which is what they need right now.
Yeah, and good call here from the dads pulling off from that Dragon. They want to make use of this Baron buff as much as they can, sieging in this bottom tower. Already got one, looking to get another, and what really can St. Cloud do about this against this comp?
Yeah, really smart play. I like it. In theory, you can get a turret, get drag on the way back, use Baron buff while you can, but the problem is that the wave clear from the side of St. Cloud is very strong. Ari and Ezreal together, even Zillion. It's difficult to siege these, but if they go...
looking to go in.
The Kled ultimate signals the all-in as they flash away, but this is the engagement they needed. Cryptic gets a massive ultimate under 3 members. Can Comber get anything as 80 carry as Bait is able to save Comber's life, but Burga goes down in the meantime. That's a triple kill. Over to Nervicali, please, and Snowcane is not ready to back off. Jumps on the Combre, that's another kill, as Kitty Robot doesn't even need to join the team, just pushing this bottom wave and getting a turret.
And looking great there from Kobe for a second. They get a lot of burst damage early, but
And now Sean Nelson getting engaged upon again. He's going to be going down. Clean ace.
Clean ace with the Baron buff and 2 mountains. But huge ultimate from Cripple in that previous fight, really turning that around.
And honestly, the dads could look to pressure a Nexus turret if they want to. Might not. It would be pretty unsafe, but they still have Baron buff.
They're going to get the double inhibs for sure.
And they do clean up the second inhib, decide to back off as Baron buff is no longer active on them.
2 inhibs at 26 minutes seems good enough.
It's standard. It's a dream. And Hecarim, we're seeing Berga build towards this tanky Hecarim right away. He's not going for any of that damage to get the early clear speed. Has the Cinderhulk Stalker's Blade as well as Spear Visage. This is kind of what he needed to do, actually. I don't mind it, but it means that he's not doing as much damage in these fights, and you can't necessarily build Hecarim as a pure tank. It doesn't quite do as much as he needs to. He wants to jump on the backline. He wants to get onto the Zyra before she can ult. Wants to get onto the Brand before he can ult and just burst them down, which you can't do if you're tank.
You'd love to build the Trinity Force on the Hecarim, but like you said, he's kind of cornered. He doesn't really have an option. He kind of has to go tanky. He doesn't really have anyone else on his team that can do it that well.
And again, the dads looking to show their dominance, trying to take another victory here, which would put them again at 2-2 in the standings, where St. Cloud struggling a lot so far. They don't have a win yet. And we're seeing some struggles here as Combre getting caught out again. That's another heroic charge. It just barely misses.
And the dad's playing this very smart. They have the mid inhibitor as well as the bottom inhibitor. They know that those lanes will continue to push in, so let's go top. Let's try to get more, continue to push our advantages.
Yeah, and all 5 members mean that this will be a siege that St. Cloud just cannot answer. 3 drags, 2 of the mountains means that these turrets go down incredibly fast, and Baron's up again in about 2 minutes. This is going to mean that with supers coming in potentially every lane, St. Cloud can't even contest it, as this inhibitor looks to be going down, but maybe not. Sean Nelson trying to poke him out as best as he can, but that Brand ultimate goes in, bouncing off many targets. This is going to be a double kill. Nerf Akali, please. Nerf Brand, please. But Spring survives, but I spoke too soon as he dies to the burn from Brand, and this is going to be potentially the end of the game. There's only 2 members from St. Cloud defending their Nexus. Can they do anything? Combre and Sean Nelson trying to do whatever they can as their Nexus falls. That is a victory to the side of the dads.
St. Cloud trying to pick their fight there. They say, hey, if this 3rd inhib goes down, we probably can't win anyway, so let's try to fight right now, try to get something. And the dad's just too far ahead.
Yeah, that Brand ultimate taking out 2 members of St. Cloud was huge for that initiation. They already had super minions on the bottom Nexus turret.
That
so
10-6 Brand ultimate is pretty strong.
Yeah, kind of. With the 225 farm, just casually. And the gold discrepancy between these teams is absolutely ridiculous. We didn't really talk about it much towards the end because there was so much going on, but 17K or about 16.5K advantage to the side of the dads just meant that there was really no chance for St. Cloud to come back. They lost the early game, which is what they were hoping to get. They didn't want the Tristana to be able to scale. She had Infinity Edge with Renaissance Hurricane and the Rapid Fire. She was doing so much damage, but I mean, also coming out from Brand was just ridiculous.
Yeah, the carries getting large here from the side of the dads, the Brand, and the Tristana. Was kind of skeptical on Champ Select, but Snowcane showing that he can play the champ looked really good.
Yeah, but that is game 2 of our 4th week, day 1, Minnesota LCS. Going over to the side of the University of Minnesota Duluth dads, picking up another win for Duluth. We'll see what that looks like for them going forward in the tournament, now being even. 2 wins, 2 losses. St. Cloud, a little more rough, 0 wins with 4 losses. We'll see if they can pick it back up going forward. But for now, we're going to take another short break and be right back for our game 3 of our week 4. So many numbers. Day 1, there you go, count up. Which will be the University of Minnesota Duluth Chicken Chasers against the College of St. Scholastica Pupper Dogs. So maybe Duluth is going to be on a roll this week, pick up 2 in one day. Or maybe the Pupper Dogs can shut them down. We'll see. So Come on right back in a moment. All right, welcome back to our final game of the Minnesota LCS Week 4, Day 1. This is going to be between the University of Minnesota Duluth Chicken Chasers and the College of St. Scholastica Pupper Dogs. Great name for a team, Pupper Dogs.
Love the Pupper Dogs.
My good old dogs.
Chicken Chasers, though, too. Both pretty cool.
True. Maybe see a lot of jungle pressure on the chickens, only farm chickens. Chase them away. Both these teams being 1 and 2 in the standings going into this week. So this can be a pretty big victory for whichever one picks it up. It means that they're not in that threat of having that anxiety, maybe not making it to playoffs. Because being 2 and 2 means that you're just that much closer to securing your playoff spot, which again is very far down the road. Not a huge concern for most teams right now. But, I mean, going into week 5, being 1 and 3 can't feel good for a team. So I'm excited to see how hard each team fights for this victory.
Yeah, 2 and 2 sounds a lot better than 1 and 3. So Chicken Chasers and the Pupper Dogs both wanting to win here. Let's see who really pulls ahead.
Yeah, and something to note is the past 2 games we've seen tonight, both been pretty quick wins, so maybe we'll get to start this one a little early if the teams can load in fast enough. If not, it's all right. They still have 10 minutes. But something about that early victory from the last game is interesting to me because in game 1 of the night, we saw a very early game-focused team draft and comp win the game in the early game, which is what they wanted to do. They played right. They got the advantages where they needed to. And then in game 2, we saw a similar thing where one team drafted for the early game, another for the late game, but the late game comp actually won very quickly.
Yeah, really both teams winning in quick fashion, really pressing their advantages and playing the map well throughout both of those games, both sub 30-minute wins. And looking good, getting early Baron kills and using their Baron pressure in the right spots.
Yeah, Baron has been a big focus, which leads into a little bit about the jungle. One jungler we've yet to see be available to teams is Graves. A lot of jungle bans being focused in the last 2 matches, but Graves specifically has not been left on the table. We'll see if that continues going forward. I don't know personally if Demolisher or League of Legends are very comfortable on the Graves champion, but he is incredibly strong at the moment.
Very strong, as we said with the previous jungle nerfs, having to the other champions who were strong before. Now Graves kind of emerging as one of the best junglers in this current patch. And yeah, being very highly prioritized in the pick and ban phase in this league.
Yeah, so getting into this next game, I'm expecting to see a lot of the more kind of power picks targeted towards these players, especially from the side of the Pupper Dogs. They got to figure out a way to beat a team of a lot of diamonds when most of them are sitting around. I mean, they have everywhere from bronze to platinum right now. I don't know where they ended last season at, but just in terms of current ranking, their average is a lot lower than the side of the Chicken Chasers. So they're going to have to ban out some of those very strong picks, whereas Chicken Chasers might be more comfortable banning out the pocket picks. Maybe do a little research, see what Puffboy likes to play, ban out that. See what Papa Dog, Raw Dog likes to play. Classic.
Papa Dog, Raw Dog.
Classic. Love saying that one in a team fight. But maybe ban out something that he likes to play. So I'm expecting to see more target bans from Chicken Chasers, whereas more power picks from Pupper Dogs. I have been wrong so many times tonight, though. So, yeah, it's all up in the air at this point.
I do agree with you, so maybe I'll be wrong, too.
We'll be wrong together. You know, it's classic bot lane duo. Do we go in? Do we back up? Just go in. We lost. Okay. Lane's over. And we're getting the ready from a lot of people right now. Crazy. Somebody just copied and pasted the whole chat in there. So R coming in from Puffboy and League of Legends, meaning both teams should be ready to go. I guess I'll just throw out that R in case they're waiting for me. I don't know. Maybe they're waiting. Oh, hey. This chat is going crazy.
Looks like we should be getting into the game here.
And we're seeing a little bit of maybe Quincy Adams having difficulty. Oh, there we go. They're just getting in the correct order. Quincy Adams in the top lane. Hiolis mid. When I believe last time it was actually swapped around, Hiolis in the top lane with Quincy Adams in the jungle. This might be some kind of position swap from the team. deciding that they want to keep it fresh, but it is not. It is rather. Oh, hey, my bad. All right, so going in, we have Quincy Adams getting the first ban for his team. Again, we're talking about those comfort picks. I would be surprised to see a Graves, unless maybe Demolisher, known for Graves. Typically more known for his tanky junglers. We've seen him on Amumu, on Zac, Sejuani. He likes those very tanky, engage-heavy champs, so maybe you can ban out him, get him on something he's not comfortable with. In this current meta, if you can affect a jungler, it really, really pays dividends to the team.
Yeah, junglers being so effective right now in the patch, being able to push those advantages for their team, and we do see the Graves ban.
Hey, there it is.
Instantly banned. Bans flying all over the place right now.
2 mid bans from the side of the Chicken Chasers. I mean, Yasuo could be considered a top lane, or support, as I like to play him, but typically in the mid. So definitely trying to get Winged Cow's champion pool as low as they can. And there are those power picks coming from the side of the Pupper Dogs. I was right. They banned the Graves. They banned the Varus. First thing I've been right about all day. And Camille.
The Camille being banned. Kind of a lot of the OPs right now being taken off of the board. See what this last ban that Puffboy wants to lock in is. Will it be another OP?
I would expect it. Maybe something along the lines of another jungler, or maybe the Jhin. Maybe they don't want to give Kukurino that, or even Ezreal, but it is Nocturne. That means Kukurino's signature champion Ezreal is on the table, but instead taking Jhin. I like the switch up.
Instantly locks in the Jhin, and they see that the Varus is banned. They know that the other best one is now off the table, so then they lock in the Jhin.
Yeah, this means that Wolfie Boy will not have what is considered one of the big 280 carries right now. We'll see what he's able to pick up instead.
We have seen some interesting 80 carries here today, though. We saw Tristana have some success, so there are other 80 carries that can break into this meta, especially in this league.
Yeah, I'd like to see the 80 carry picked up here as well as the jungler, just so that those solo lanes of mid and top don't get counterpicked. But teams have been surprising me so far, so you never know. And they're taking their time, deliberating, figuring it out.
And
Karma Lee Sin.
Karma Lee Sin locked in here. So 2 pretty strong picks here. They do go for the jungler, like you said. And we'll see how much early pressure this Lee Sin can get off. And the Karma in the bot lane trying to counteract this Jhin a little bit.
And I also like taking that support away from Gavin97. You say, well, we already know what you're playing 80 carry. Showing the support doesn't really do that much. So let's take away one of the champions that Gavin can play well and try to let Papa Dog or Dog show what he can do on it instead. Keep in mind, though, Gavin97 been very known to play those aggressive bot lanes of Zyra, of Brand. So maybe taking the Karma away wasn't the best choice, but perhaps they just wanted to guarantee it because Papa Dog or Dog likes it. But they are choosing to lock in Vi and Shen. Excuse me. This is a very new team. We haven't seen any of these champs played so far in this tournament right now.
Yeah, we have seen Vine previous weeks a few times to some success, and the Shen in the top lane being very highly prioritized on high levels of League of Legends provides a lot of global pressure.
Ooh.
And is that Jarvan being locked in?
They might lock in the Jarvan to counter the Shen. Interesting choice for the counter, as Shen can typically just kind of avoid Jarvan long enough to get tanky, affect other lanes. But they like that matchup, although it could still potentially be a J4 mid, typically only really used against Zed, as we've seen in the LCS. But again, that's the LCS. Hard to translate that to this level. So I'm assuming top.
Slightly different abilities of play here from the LCS here.
Just ever so slightly.
But we'll see. We see the Caitlyn locked in down there, so the very pokey bot lane of Karma and Caitlyn.
Yeah, and they still get what's considered one of the next tier of 80 carries. It goes Jhin, Varus, and then typically into the Caitlyn or Ashe if you need one of those ones instead. So I like that they're able to still get a pretty good pickup there. And the Echo hovered for mid lane. On the side, instead of Corki, very strong champion right now, can bring a lot to the table, but might be Echo. I don't know. Who knows? They're going to keep us guessing till the last second, but it is Echo. They lock it in. League of Legends. Let's see what he can do on this champion.
And locking in the Echo, we still could see a little bit of flex potential from this side. Could be, unless they lock in the Gnar, then we kind of know it will probably be the J4 mid lane. Unless they want to go J4 support with Karma in the mid lane, and that would be even more
spicy. I love those picks. I'm assuming if they're hovering the Gnar, that means that they're trying to play mind games. Or if they do pick it, it will be the J4 mid into the Echo. Again, another champion that can get out of the J4 ultimate fairly easily. If anything, it does better in the J4 ultimate. And instead of Heimerdinger, they want a Yordle.
These
no
guys
matter
are
where he's
playing
going, they're picking a Yordle. I can tell you that. Timo next. Come on. Oh, Jax. All right. So it seems as if this will be the top lane pick, as they keep teasing us with these champions. And Gragas is locked in.
And they want Gragas into this Shen matchup. It looks like they do have the counter pick in the top lane, and that's what they choose. Interesting choice here.
I am a little lost for words. I didn't think we would see such a fun champion in the top lane. I love seeing these off-meta picks. It makes the games really fun. So thank you, Puffboy, first of all. And also, really excited to see how this plays out. The Gragas into the Shen. Gragas, pretty obvious, cannot match the global presence of Shen, but I can assume will do fairly well in lane against him.
Yeah, I would assume has a little bit more range. The Shen can poke him out maybe a little bit. Also has the teleport to try to get back to lane, to try to match some of the global pressure that Shen provides. But Gragas will probably, hopefully, be able to provide a little bit better engage with that ultimate and the body slam.
True. Honestly, don't know how that matchup goes. Not one that I've ever seen before in my years of League of Legends, but this, is always a time for first. And what better time than the Minnesota LCS? So again, talking about these team comps, let's focus on the bot lane now. We're seeing a Jhin Thresh combo.
Interesting bot lane matchup here. Pretty standard. We see this one quite a bit. I expect this to be pretty even. The Caitlyn Karma should have a little bit more poke, but the Thresh Jhin maybe a little bit better engage with the W as well as the hook coming from Thresh.
Yeah, their level 2 is a lot stronger unless Karma holds that ultimate. If Dog is able to poke down without pressing that R button, level 2, their 2v2 is going to be a lot stronger. Especially if they're able to juke some of Thresh's skill shots, which are fairly difficult to hit onto a Karma if you're taking your E speed boost plus shield, which typically you will do in the 2v2 early against this kind of lane.
Yeah, and this mid lane, J4 and the Echo is very curious here. J4 just starting to see a little bit of play in the mid lane, starting to creep into the meta. Let's see how he goes into this Echo. Like you said before, Echo can get out of the ultimate fairly easily, so it could be a little bit troublesome here for Winged Cow.
Yeah, and they opted to take Echo into the J4. Keep in mind, it was blind. J4 could have been flexed top, but they were hovering the Corki, changed back to Echo, meaning that they like that into J4 potentially more than they like the Corki, when in my mind, the ranged champion of Corki will be able to just poke down J4, can still get out of the ultimate if you need to. So I think that matchup would have been better, but again, they really didn't know where the J4 was going, so Echo into the J4 can still work.
Yeah, absolutely. And Echo choosing to go for that Ignite where the J4 wants the Exhaust, both going for those 1v1 dueling summoners.
Yeah, what's difficult about having Exhaust on J4 into the Echo is if you're trying to all in and exhaust him, he just ults back to wherever he was 4 seconds ago, and that's your summoner spell burned for the entire duration because you're not going to be able to really catch up to him again. So I think that's going to be used more on the Vi, more on maybe Echo if he's trying to go in, try to stop some of the damage on Caitlyn. So I think it's more of a defensive for those bigger team fights, not necessarily going to be used one-on-one in lane, whereas Echo, having the Ignite, has a much stronger presence in lane during that 1v1.
Pre-6, the Exhaust will still be pretty strong,
True.
Especially if the lead comes early.
Yeah, we've seen the past 2 games be a lot around where the jungler roams, as most games should be. And we're seeing a Lee Sin into a Vi. Lee Sin typically better at those picks, trying to get onto one target that's kind of squishy. Vi, very good at that, but also provides a little bit more team fight initiation, which Lee Sin can have if he's able to line up the kick correctly, but it takes a lot of skill to get that done.
Yeah, very difficult to play the Lee Sin. I've been trying my best to learn that champion, and it has not gone well for
Do
me.
not check Sam's win-loss ratio on Lee Sin, I can tell you that. ARAM's fun.
ARAM's fun.
No Sightstone, no
He
problem.
doesn't need words.
No, who needs a word jump? All right, but we're loading into our final game of the evening. Also might be one of the most hype. Again, both of these teams 1 and 2, very even in the standings, but a little uneven in player ranks. 3 diamonds and 2 plats from last season on the side. Of Quincy Adams top lane with Helios jungle, League of Legends mid, Kakarino and Gavin97 on the bot side. Whereas for Puff Boy, top lane, Demolisher in the jungle, Winged Cow mid, Wolfie Boy in the bot lane with his dog, Papa Dog or Dog.
Wolfie Boy with his dog.
2 K9s bot lane, what could go wrong? They got this. And apparently a flying cow in the mid. A lot of animals coming on the side.
And a
Papa
rhino
Dogs.
that they're facing against in the opposing team.
Ooh, my goodness! Not only a rhino, a cucker rhino. That's not the kind of rhino that you want in a game. But now we'll see. Can the Chicken Chasers take over the Pupper Dogs again with their higher overall rank? The past 2 games have gone to the team that has higher average ranking. We'll see if that trend continues here, as both teams not looking to really fight right now. The Pupper Dogs won it. They're grouped, but they're not going to get it, I don't believe.
And we've seen this all 3 games today from the red side, trying to group in this bush, trying to get an early advantage. Nothing really has come from it so far, and it doesn't look like anything will come for it this time either.
For all the players hovering Timo to get me excited, hovering Heimerdinger to get me excited, come on. Just give me the 5v5 level 1. That's all we ask for.
Give me something.
That's what the fans want. And by fans, I mean me and maybe some people. But not going to happen this game, as both teams looking to just do the standard leash, except for the side of the Chicken Chasers. Actually, Vi starting on blue with Quincy Adams leashing. We'll see if Kakarino and Gavin97 decide to take this chance to get an early lead and farm, or if they're just going to not show.
And a large amount of trading going on level 1 in the mid lane. Winged Cow and League of Legends both lose more than half of their health.
League of Legends actually taking a slightly bigger hit for Winged Cow, as Winged Cow has the Corrupting Potion, meaning the sustain is slightly better. And it looks like they're both sizing each other up. And all right, I see you. Who wins level 1? All right, now who wins level 2?
As you said, I'm curious to see this Puff Boy and Quincy Adams from the top lane. We're not exactly sure who should win this matchup. It seems like Gragas maybe has a little bit more poke with the Q barrels.
In my head, it's Gragas. I mean, he's not that auto attack reliant. He can just wait for the Shen to use taunt on him and then go in on the Shen. And I think he'll do more damage. But Papa Dog forced to flash away as the bot lane from the Chicken Chasers get level 2 first. But now Winged Cow going into the League of Legends. But the exhaust, the ignite, can he get the burn damage? It's not quite there.
Wow, incredibly close fight there in the mid lane. The ignite and the exhaust coming out. And here comes Helios.
Oh, onto Puff Boy. Can he get away? Has flash available. Has to burn it. That is 2 flashes. 1 top, 1 bot for the side of the Pupper Dogs. But League of Legends losing both sums in the mid lane, and that's where the Corrupting Potion almost made the difference. That burn damage over time almost got Winged Cow that kill.
And League of Legends with both summoners down here. Demolisher's probably going to be looking to go mid lane. Winged Cow still has his flash up. Demolisher with both sums.
They got to be looking for some of that, as Gap97 doing what supports do, providing presence, pushing off Wolfie Boy and Papa Dog, saying, this isn't your farm. This is our minions farm.
Ooh.
And getting the hook onto Papa Dog. There's the flay. There's the root. Can they get the damage? Heal comes out from Wolfie Boy, but Kakarino sticking around maybe a little too long. Oh, and first blood going over to Gavin. The flash auto attack from Thresh. just enough to pick it up.
And really well played from Gavin97. 2 hooks in a row that we've seen down there, getting them so much. Initially just gets the flash.
And that Demolisher at the League of Legends is what we were saying they needed to do. No summoner spells means a kill to Wings Cow, just a couple seconds too late as First Blood going over to the support. But if anything, that's where you want it to go. I mean, coming back with the Ruby Crystal, that huge power spike for the support. But here, Gavin97 showing up on a champion that we haven't really seen him play a lot of, typically playing those carry supports of Brand Zyra, but now choosing Thresh, showing, hey, look, I can land hooks too.
Yeah, looking really good. Both hooks that he's landed here so far has gotten them a lot, getting the flash, followed by the first blood kill on the second hook.
And the farm advantage also from bot lane is already going hugely into the Chicken Chasers' favor, being 10 CS ahead at less than 5 minutes into the game.
And they're continually pushing them under tower. It's going to be very hard for Wolfie Boy to get all of that farm.
And we're seeing a little bit of what that top lane matchup looks like as Quincy Adams comes back with 3 beads, but Wolfie Boy actually getting engaged upon now, flays away, has flash available, doesn't need to burn it.
And this hook from Gavin97 into Cuck Rhinos, they'll be proving to be very, very potent here early in this game.
Yeah, any kind of support with CC, very strong with Jhin. If you can just stop them for a second, that root from Jhin is very good. But now an initiation for Wing Cow into League of Legends. League of Legends might have bit off more than he can chew. He already gave up a kill to Wings Cow, but it will not be a second. But a flash from Wing Cow almost gets it, but that's a kill for League of Legends. Jumping back in, who knew the turret shot would be enough. And really well played.
Wing Cow just getting a little bit too aggressive there. He thinks that he can get the kill with that flash, but the turret damage does enough for League of Legends to get the follow-up kill.
And that is absolutely heartbreaking when you're a solo laner that has an advantage over your opponent and then you just whiff ever so slightly. That was pretty close, but again, you got to know your matchup. You got to know what your champion can do and know if you can do that kind of damage as Puff Lane Quincy Adams going at it again in the top lane. Quincy Adams actually taking a little bit more for that one. His Grasp of the Undying heals up Puff Boy ever so slightly.
Duking it out in the top lane here.
Quincy Adams picking up level 6 first.
Neither one really been able to secure a large advantage for themselves. Quincy Adams has a slight farm lead over Puff Boy, but nothing too major.
And both of these bot laners, these 80 carries, have not had a chance to back, which is really difficult. Ooh, Gavin97. That was a really cheesy play. He winded up the death sentence, hoping that Cuck Rhino would kill the minion in front of him, but Cuck Rhino wasn't on the same page. But yeah, League of Legends almost getting cut out there.
When Cow decides he doesn't want it, does not want to make another mistake. Even with that mistake that he just made, though, pretty even here in the mid lane. League of Legends Flash is coming back up, where Wing Cows will be down for slightly longer.
Yeah, and along with Ignite means that the level 6 Echo should be able to do a lot to this level. Oh, now level 6 J4. We'll see what happens if the jungle decides to go mid as well. Quincy Adams getting a little bit of a lead over Puff Boy, push him under turret. Taking these trades, as Demolisher almost dies to Krugs. Woo!
Demolisher playing with his life. They're almost dying to the Krugs.
And Wolfie Boy with Papa Dogger Dog just trying to push that wave under turret and back, trying to get some more items so that they can stand against this deathly duo of Cuck Rhino and Gavin97. The Jhin Thresh, very strong. And unfortunately, Caitlyn and Karma just haven't been able to poke them down as much. We knew going into this that if Thresh could land those death sentences, it's really bad news for the Pupper Dogs bot lane. And unfortunately, they just haven't been able to poke them down as much as they've gotten hooked.
Yeah, and Cuck Rhino having this lead in the bot lane on a champion that does spike slightly earlier. It's going to take a little bit longer for the Caitlyn to be more relevant. She has to still build the crit build.
Ooh, the hook onto Demolisher means that he might go down, but flash away. Saves his life. Wing Cow jumps in on the enemy team, but gets exhausted immediately. That's another kill to League of Legends. They might still secure the dragon as Papa Dogger Dog has to flash over the wall. Jumping from Quincy Adams in League of Legends. That's a kill and a dragon.
UMD playing that very well. Immediate flash hook out there from Gavin97 as soon as he sees his target. Able to pick up the kill and get the Infernal Drake.
Yeah, and these rotations from the Chicken Chasers have been pretty good right now. Because they have 4 members on that dragon, the jungler and both bottom laners. And now Wolfie Boy might be getting caught out. There's the lantern. The death sentence lands. Wolfie Boy has heal, has flash, and the exhaust on the Helios means that Kakarino has to flash in to get the kill. And the turret almost takes him down, heals himself. Can Demolisher get anything for it? He does not. The ultimate from Jin, Curtain Call, lands 1 onto Demolisher, but he gets out. Meaning it's just a 1-for-0 trade, and a lot of summoners burned.
And well played there from the side of UMD. They go under the turret. It's very risky. They go for the tower dive and play it well. They get the
kill. And now League of Legends going on the top of the Puff Boy. He does not even get a chance. Lands his ult, but doesn't get much for it as Quincy Adams barely able to get out from that turret. Really strong roam.
And another calculated dive here. Both of them getting out and getting the kill, and now a 5-1 lead here.
Yeah, League of Legends forcing the flash from Puff Boy so that he did get stunned under turret. But by doing that, League of Legends didn't tank the turret, meaning Shen was able to, who's the slightly tankier target. Almost picked up a kill for it, but not quite.
Now with a 2.5k gold lead here for UMD early in this game. Let's see if they can catapult this lead like the previous 2 teams have. If they can push their advantages.
Yeah, Pupper Dog's just trying to get vision around. They don't want this Vi coming down bottom lane constantly as they have. Not only does Vi have great ganking pressure on her own, but also with the Lantern from Gavin97, but now Winged Cow has to jump away from League of Legends as he's showing that he can win the 1v1 even without Ignite.
Yeah, great burst damage there from League of Legends. Onto Winged Cow, pushing him out of the lane, and he's gonna...
Puff Boy stopping Quincy Adams' dash onto the minions. Not getting much for it, but it was cool. Looked cool.
Well played.
And these top laners, this is where we're seeing Demolisher coming in onto Quincy Adams. Does not have his dash available yet, but he just gets up in time. Papa Dogger getting engaged upon again. Gavin97's the carry now. Build full AD Thresh. I dare you.
And we see this combo time and time again. Gavin97 landing the hook, Kakarino being on top of his W's, and they're just really punishing this bottom lane.
And unfortunately, there's nothing they can do about it as League of Legends tries to get on a Winged Cow. Winged Cow trades pretty evenly, has a lot of mana advantage. Demolisher and Puff Boy coming into the mid lane. Keep in mind, League of Legends still has his ultimate available. Might be able to get away from a gank. That Chrono Break, very pesky. As Curtain
Looking
Call
for another dive.
Wolfie Boy. They're trying to dive under turret. Keolis is there. The death sentence is there. Who gets the kill? And it's the Vi.
And even Quincy Adams coming down to join the fray as well. And they're going to pick up this first tower.
Unfortunately, Keolis stepping on a trap on his way out. Is a rookie mistake. Won't happen again. But really good dive. That is the 3rd, I believe, successful dive from the Chicken Chasers. They are not afraid to do this. And this is just what you can do when you have a Shen top. You dive on your turret, Shen ults the person who's tanking the turret shots, and that's an easy kill.
And Puff Boy having the teleport up throughout the duration of that play, but deciding that that is lost. I can't do much more, so let's try to continue to push this top wave in. Gavin97 looking for something mid.
Yeah, they have members there. Misses the death sentence. And now it looks like Winged Cow wants more, but the flay away means that it's not going to be much.
Well-timed play from Gavin97 there.
Yeah, Demolisher might be looking for something mid here or to just take away blue buff from Keolis. Oh, jumps in, is actually able to smite, steal it, but now he's getting engaged upon by Keolis. Shed is nowhere nearby. Quincy Adams still in the top lane. Can they get anything for this Demolisher? Showing his skills on Lee Sin, but can they get anything else for this? The flash over Puff with a land of death sentence onto Demolisher. Secures a kill, but now the rest of the Puffer Dogs are there for the team fight. This is looking pretty even, but going towards the side of the Chicken Chasers. Winged Cow's taking too much turret. A double kill to Quincy Adams. It looks like it might turn towards the favor of the Puffer Dogs, but Chicken Chasers just too tanky right now.
And Gavin97 popping off on this Thresh, flashing over the Gragas to hit the hook, and then double play onto the team. Chicken Chaser's looking great here early.
That was very, very impressive. I can tell you I've never landed anything like that on my Thresh play, but Gavin97 showing up on this champion right now. Look at that stat line, 2-0-6, Jin's 1-1-6. Come on.
I'm the real kid.
Come on, Kakarino. What are you doing? And Gavin97 constantly roaming, has those boots of mobility, meaning that he can easily get around the map. get that hook wherever it needs to go, which seems to be, honestly, anywhere that he is at the moment, as he has picked up so much for the team.
Yeah, Gavin 97 looking fantastic on this thresh pick, and I'm curious to see how this plays out the rest of the tournament. Will this start getting banned against him? He's looked so strong.
Is this like the legendary All Greek to me from St.Olaf of the past split, playing 2 games of Blitz the whole season, popping off? Maybe Gavin's got that thresh pocket pick as Puffboy's trying to get an engage on Quincy Adams, but he just cannot outdamage that Shen and Papa Dog. You're not in the right place. Your team's not there. You're gifting them kills. And Wolfie Dog might go down as well, but Demolisher's there to back up the Wolfie boy. So many wolves. Cucurino can't quite get away from Demolisher. Quincy Adams doesn't care about no turret, just wants Puff Boy tanking turret now, though. Can he get him? And there's the kill. And League of Legends does not want Wolfie Boy to survive. Flash away, but the Shen ultimate means that League of Legends can get under turret and tank so much of it. Has Chrono Break to get back. Winged Cow has nothing to save his team. Gavin trying to get the play, but barely misses it.
UMD just getting more on all of these plays. Going to be able to push in this bottom lane even more. Maybe look to siege this tower. Helios wants in, but decides against it.
Yeah, instead they're just going to rotate drag. I like the call. They say let's not get too greedy. Death timers are still up. Let's get the objective, reset, maybe get some more gold, get some more items.
And this will be a second Inferno if they're able to secure, but
it is going to be contested. It is a 4v3 Curtain Call's fault. They decide to go into the Demolisher. He does not even get a chance to smite as he dies immediately.
Immediately taking out the jungler, guaranteeing that they secure this Infernal Drake.
Really, really smart play from Cucurino. Sticks on the backside, just pops Curtain Call to get the initiation onto Demolisher. Just that one slow means that he can't get away from the rest of the team when they engage. And this is going to be not only a dragon, but now a turret. What more can the Chicken Chasers ask for?
Chicken Chasers rotating bottom. Looks like they have all 5 members there. Going to try to continue to push these mid, just get another tower.
And they have so much gold in their pockets, but they are refusing to spend it. They want more. They want every turret in the game. And they're going to just start with tier 2 bot.
They want every turret in the game.
I mean, can you blame them?
True.
It's a good goal. Ooh, stopping backs. Cucurino might be getting caught out, but this looks like another engage from the side of the Chicken Chasers. Can they get this as Demolishers on the back line? Puff Boy's ult doesn't quite land.
And UMD really coming out to a large lead earlier in this game. 16 minutes in already with a 7k gold lead. Continuing to press their advantages. A 3-0 turret lead, 9 kills ahead.
Yeah, 9 kills and, like you said, 7k gold at 17 minutes is almost unheard of. They are controlling this map so well, and honestly, I don't know what the Pupper Dogs can do to come back. What, in your opinion, needs to happen?
The Pupper Dogs, it does look very grim for them right now, but it is possible to come back. They're going to have to turtle as much as they can here. League of Legends is massive on this Echo.
Well, Puff Boy needs an item. Winged Cow needs an item. And Wolfie Boy needs an item.
Yeah.
None of them have a completed item right now, which is just heartbreaking to see. They keep trying to do these fights, and they just don't have any business being there. They almost need to just give up every turret except for their inhib turrets, and then just try to farm up, because they can't really be this far forward as League of Legends finds Winged Cow. This is no longer an even mid lane matchup. League of Legends showing up huge. Winged Cow actually gets some backup with Demolisher. There, the Chrono Break out. Can you get the damage as Cucurino is there? The ultimate locks them both in. That's a 1-for-1 trade, but now it's a 2-for-1, 3-for-1. Can Cucurino get the kill? That's 4 dead on the side of the Pupper Dogs.
And catastrophic there from the Pupper Dogs, just trying to stroll through their jungle like it is still theirs, like they're not down by this much.
Come on, Eolus, get that pink ward.
But the side of UMD really punishing them. 4 kills to 1, and now another tower going over in their favor.
Yeah, they thought that they had the engagement onto League of Legends, but
Gavin 97 continuing to try to get spicy. Oh, flash and emote.
The spicier he gets, the more fun the game is, though. 3-0-9 on Thresh, the highest stat line in the game. if we gave out players of the game, I would make a strong argument for him. He has shown up huge, not only in lane, but also continuously roaming.
Yeah, they get so much lane pressure earlier with continuing landing those hooks into the W of the Jhin. They get huge advantage bot lane, and then Gavin 97.
Ooh, they're going back in. This is a 3v5, though. Can they get the damage fast enough? This might have been more than they can chew. They're strong, but are they that strong? Flash over the wall from Quincy Adams means that Gavin, no!
It's the right target, but
Thresh can only live for so long.
Finds the Caitlyn, but is not enough. They just got a little greedy with their back there, and the Pupper Dogs do a good job of punishing.
Well, they were backing and saw two members. So they thought, hey, let's burst them down, get an easy kill. Unfortunately, all of the Pupper Dogs were there, looking to rotate Rift Herald, actually. I don't mind this.
20 seconds to get it.
Yeah, this might not work out for them, as it actually should go down slightly before the 20-second mark, and League of Legends is there. Can he get onto Wolf Boy? Lands the stun. The exhaust is on him, but he just chrono breaks out. They get the Rift Herald, but they can secure it. Wings Cow might be picking it up. He's standing right on it. There they go. Quincy Adams and League of Legends getting caught out. Again, trying to 2v5, but they pick up one kill. Zonius means that League of Legends might survive in the flash away. Still dies to that auto attack from Gragas. Gavin 97 not wanting it to end here, but Quincy Adams saying, please, I've had enough. And the fight is still going. Pupboy and Papadog getting engaged upon by Eolus. This is not looking good for them. They had their picks. Why didn't they just back off? They're falling apart, and Gavin missing the hook. Could have gone for Puffboy, trying to get Wolfie Boy instead. And this is not looking great for the side of the Pupper Dogs. Gavin! Ooh, kill secure.
And the Pupper Dogs looking like they're trying to mount a little bit of a comeback there. They pick up a couple kills. They get the Rift Herald. And then they should have backed off. However, they get kind of greedy, and UMD makes them pay. They pick up a few more kills and now looking to get another tower. Those will be 6-0 in third.
They just didn't have the focus. Half of them were on League of Legends and half of them were on Quincy Adams. There's no reason to target the Shen when Echo already used Chrono Break. I mean, you know that he's not going to be able to get away. Yeah, he pops Zonias, but once Zonias is popped, go for something else, and 1/4 shot onto Demolisher. Almost demolishes him.
Holy cook Rhino damage. Wow.
Whew. And that is a strong Jhin 4th shot with 2 lethality items completed and no armor on the side of Lee Sin. Now it looks like the Chicken Chasers want to keep fighting. Winged Cow says, I'm just going in.
Winged Cow gets a little bit too greedy there, and it looks like UMD wants to continue to chase. Hook does not land.
And at this point, the Pupper Dogs are just grasping for anything they can get their hands on. They just want to land some kind of initiation onto the squishies if they want any chance of winning, as Gavin is just, comfortably 1v3. Puffboy stands no chance. The hook lands onto the caster minion, but can Curtain Call get anything? Looks like it doesn't.
They are going to be able to pick up this inhib, however, and let's see what more they can get. Gavin just barely misses the hook onto the Karma.
He's getting greedy. He wants those hooks.
Let's see. That looks like they're going to rotate to the bottom lane. The Dragon is also live.
Yeah, and this is looking almost unwinnable for the side of Pupper Dogs. 12k behind at 22 minutes. 2 Infernal Drakes behind. Yeah, they have Rift Herald onto Wings Cow, but when he jumps in 1v5, not sure how that's going to work out for you. Seems as if they're just looking to have a little bit of fun with the rest of this game. Going towards Baron. Are they going to... Oh, the teleport from Boffboy. Is it warded, though?
UMD sees this. I think that they know that this is happening. And
they're just rotating it there themselves. They don't know what's happening. They might get engaged upon, but now they see all members. Papadog getting a little too far forward. He gets bursted up, but Wing Cow kills Keolis, and Kokorino goes down as well. That's a 2-for-1 trade. Actually in the favor of Pupper Dogs.
Nice little bait there from Pupper Dogs, trying to get a little bit back.
Flash flame into Demolisher might go down. Puckboy jumping back in, is supposed to cast available, but might die too soon to use it. Gavin 97 picking up another kill as explosive cast scatters the team of the Chicken Chasers. But this Thresh says, I'll 1v1 the Lee Sin. Get over here. Play you away. All right, I don't want any more of this. And the shutdown to Demolisher. But
Shed's still going in on this 1v2.
And Wing Cow just cannot get away. He's got to find an escape somewhere. The Maw barely saving him. Or the Hex Drinker, rather.
Don't think that Wing Cow is going to be able to get out alive.
Quincy Adams says, you are mine, but decides to back off. Can he get Demolisher, though? Oh, it doesn't want it.
Quincy does not quite get anything out of that, but still an enormous lead here for the side of BMD. Looking very grim for the Puppy Dogs.
Wait, Puppy Dog's got a 2,000 gold deck, but Heolas wants Demolisher. Does he have ultimate available? He does. He lands it, and Demolisher kick him away in time. Flash doesn't even have the kick, and Heolas picks up a kill. This does not look good for the Puppy Dogs, as it is now a 4v5, and no jungler means Baron pretty easy in the pocket of the Chicken Chasers.
Going to steal this red buff first, and then maybe look to Baron. Maybe they're baiting it, or maybe they just brute force these guys down at this point.
Honestly, any one of those options could potentially work, as they're just looking to fight right now. You can taste the hunger.
Taste the Nexus.
They need it, but instead they decide to back up, push some other lanes.
Looks like they got the Shen split pushing top while the rest of the team is going to the bottom lane, going to try to pick up these other inhibitor turrets. They already have the inhib down in the mid lane.
Yeah, and deciding not to Baron, it would have been very easy for the Chicken Chasers to secure that, as Demolisher was down. No jungler smite from the enemy team means it's almost a free Baron. Even if they did try to 4v5, you can probably just crush them. But instead, they're just looking to end as they get Wolfie Boy, they get Winged Cow, but Winged Cow trying to throw as long as he can. Does not quite get eggs off from the Demolisher, and he's getting taken down by Quincy Adams. Curtain Call slowing down every member of the Puffer Dogs. League of Legends showing up huge. Chrono breaks out. Didn't even need it. He always might go down to the turret. He does. Puff Boy getting the kill for the squad and trying to juke everything. Barely gets out. In League of Legends, Zoni's Hourglass means he doesn't die, and this will be victory to the side of the Chicken Chasers of University of Minnesota Duluth.
Chicken Chasers looking very strong in that game, and really getting an early advantage and never looking back, crushing the Puffer Dogs.
And absolutely ridiculous stat lines on so many members from the Chicken Chasers. Mostly looking at Gavin 97, 7-2. I'll repeat that, 7-2 and 15 on the support thresh. Didn't even build attack damage. Almost as much gold as Heolas.
Hit the Sheen.
Yeah, oh, true. True. Redemption, you know. It helps.
Getting that damage where he can. But just the stat lines across the board, 4-3 and 13 on Kakarino, 9-3 and 12 on this Echo, 7 kills on the bye. The entire team just too strong.
What's great to see is how many assists there are on the team. Everywhere they went together. Yeah, they were kind of losing some of their focus towards the end. I think they were just having fun with the game. They could have gotten an easy Baron. They could have easily just rotated, gotten a lane instead. They just kind of walked around the jungle trying to get a pick. But other than that, everything leading up to that point was them rotating together, Gavin landing those hooks, getting his team kills, and getting kills for himself, obviously. So congratulations to the Chicken Chasers coming out with a victory in our final game of the day. I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by and checking out the stream. As always, we are sponsored by Invade Gaming. Check out all their gaming apparel online. And you have been listening to the delightful, soothing voices of Steve Sirbutt Kangas and
Sam Money Trust Yuko.
There you go. Let you do your own sign off. Anything you want to say to the fans, Sam, before we head on out?
Those are some great games this week. A few stomps, but still fun to watch. And thanks for stopping by.
True. And catch us next week, Thursday, for your two favorite casters. We will be commentating day 2 of week 5. But in the meantime, check out the stream coming up this Thursday. Our entire production team, fantastic, doing a great job helping out here. So check out the stream on Thursday, starting again at 7 o'clock. And that matchup will be the Fighting Saints against University of Minnesota Pocket Picks, formerly known as just the B team. And then Gangspot Gophers versus Gustavus, and Mavericks versus McAllister. So stick around for that. And as always, have a good one.